PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Here's Karen. Got around Kulak to the Stuart Skinner reserves the 1-0 lead with a tremendous stop.
What a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, as well as YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game and use the promo code Gregor50. Make a $50 deposit, use the code Gregor50, and they will give you another $50. So check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. I got a lot going on the show today. Lots to discuss. Of course, the Edmonton Oilers, a 2-0 shutout victory last night on the road in New York against the Rangers. And let's be honest, it was the Stuart Skinner show. Stuart Skinner was the Oilers' best player. The high danger chances were 10-3, shots 30-19 in favor of the Rangers, and Skinner won them the game. And there's going to be a few times during the season you'll need your goalie to win the game. Anybody who ever claims Skinner can never win you the game, once again, has been proven incorrect. Can Skinner be more consistent? Yes. Is Skinner's top-end game good enough to be a competitive team? Yes. And now this year, I think the goal for Stuart Skinner is to just find consistency. He's not going to stop, get shutouts every night, and not going to have a .942 save percentage all season. Not going to have a 1.44 goals against average all season. Of course not. No goalie does in the NHL. But Stuart Skinner has the potential to be good. We've seen it before. I think a lot of people forget 2024. But Stu Skinner, when Knobloch came in, was really good. He was a top 8 goalie in all the meaningful categories. Goals saved above expected, save percentage, goals against average. It's really good. He had 2 bad games in the playoffs. That was it. The other games, pretty solid. And last night, that's a good thing to build on. Not so much just the victory by Skinner, but how he played. That, to me, is what matters a lot in that game, was how he played. His movement is key. All right, we know he had the brain cramp. If you're only going to focus on 1-2 second brain cramp, I think you're missing how else he's played, right? He's had way better balance in his movement, right? There's fewer pitched forward, lunging, awkward moments with him. And now he's not going to have a perfect game, obviously, right? There was the one play where I think he got up on the wrong leg. It happens. But you know what? Hey, you need to be good to be lucky, lucky be good. He made some of his best saves, obviously, came on Sam Carrick. How good was Sam Carrick, by the way, for the Rangers? But hey, the Oilers, it's funny. And that's what shows you. Game 2 against Vancouver, unbelievably good defensively. They didn't give up anything. They didn't give up one high danger chance. And then the very next game, they give up 10. It's hard to be consistent anywhere. Hard to be consistent as your goaltender, as a defenseman, as a forward. You're going to have up and down games. And to me, a proper analysis of Skinner is going to be kind of every month, every quarter. If you're going to freak out every time he has a bad game and say, yeah, but last year, no, last year's irrelevant. Last year is completely irrelevant. It's all about, can Skinner find the consistency that he had in 24 and bring it this year? If he does, he's going to have a good year. The Edmonton Oilers will most likely have a good season. So that's kind of where it's at for me with Stuart Skinner. But that is a step in the right direction for Skinner. There's no doubt about it. It's a step in the right direction. That's what you want. You want your goalie to play well. He played well. He won them the game. Full stop. Won them the game. If you're going to critique the saves he made, then you just don't like him. That's fine. But at least admit that you don't like him and it doesn't matter what he does, you'll never be happy. Because then you'll be happier if you at least admit it and try to pretend that that's not the case. So there are some people, everybody has players they like and dislike. It's not going to change. But don't fool yourself into thinking that it's a good analysis to always be, but this. No, he got a shutout. That's all that matters. You think he's the only goalie who's ever had a shutout where the other team hit a goalpost? I don't think so. So it's a great game for Skinner. Full stop. Right? But there's lots of people that they would rather be right than have Skinner play well. That's where it's at for some people. That's what makes it fun. Coming up on the show today, Mike Rupp's going to join us right away. We got Uranchuk, Dave McCarthy, the business of sport with Rich Winter, and our guest today, Vinny Prospal, who, did you know, is an assistant coach in the American League. He's coached in Europe for many years. Obviously, Vinny Prospal is one of those great success stories of a late round draft pick who ended up had himself a hell of a career. Played over 1,100 NHL games. Played for the Flyers, the Senators, Panthers, the Lightning, the Ducks, the Rangers, and finished his career with the Columbus Blue Jackets, and then went back to his home country in the Czech Republic. Done some coaching, and you know what? He has a goal. He wants to become an NHL head coach. So we'll talk to he goes by Vinny Prospal, but his real name is Vaclav Prospal. Well, we'll find out why Vinny. Why Vinny? We'll see. Who knows? Maybe he has a cousin. I'm not sure. Let's go in the room now, brought to you by Action Electrical, the most diverse electrical contractors in Alberta, and they are hiring. If you're looking for second, third, and fourth year electricians. So if you got the goods, you want to work for a great company, great opportunities to grow and expand, check it out. Send your resume, careers@actionelectrical.net, and tell them the Gregor Show sent you. As Mike Rupp from the NHL Network, our regular Wednesday contributor, joins us. Rupper, how you doing?
I'm good, Grace. How you doing, bud?
Ooh, I'm pretty good, man. I'm real good. In your home state there in New York, you got the Devils, you got the Islanders, you got the Rangers. The Rangers set an NHL record where they get shut out in their first 3 home games. And the thing is, the last 2 games they got shut out, they outplayed Washington, they outplayed Edmonton, but they couldn't beat Lindgren, they couldn't beat Skinner. What's going on with the Rangers offense?
It's a great question. Anytime you're setting an NHL record in, I guess, a negative category, it's not a great feeling. I'm sure the Rangers they want to rid that right away as far as not scoring at home yet. Goal scoring, it was going to look a little bit different this year, and it needed to. So they're a team right now that's having a hard time scoring goals. I was watching that game last night, and the fact that that fourth line has been really good for them, but the fact you have that fourth line out there with 2 minutes left in the game and you need a goal kind of tells you, I like it from the standpoint that it's merit-based. Hey, whoever's playing is going to play, and I think that's Mike Sullivan's, what he's trying to get across to the team, but that also shows you that other guys are just simply not going right now. So I will say this, though. I'm not panicking about them because you and I talked about it on this show a ton last year. They have not defended for a couple years now, and they're doing that right now. I don't know, that game, Stuart Skinner was awesome. I thought he was fantastic in the game. It was a big game for him. So they had some looks. They just can't seem to score this season, especially obviously at home. But their game looks much better to give yourself a chance to win in the regular season by just the way they're defending. After game one was a throwaway game against the Penguins. They looked terrible in all aspects. But since then, their games have looked pretty good. They just can't score goals. That'll eventually come. To what degree, I don't know. But I'm not as panicky, I think, as you would think, considering they set an NHL record.
Yeah, it is wild. It's just a wild thing. Imagine being a season ticket holder. All right, paid my money 3 times. I haven't got to cheer once. That's a tough one for Ranger fans. But that line, the Sam Carrick line, played great. They're probably their third line, the way their minutes are going and everything like that. But my one concern about the Rangers is their top guys just aren't scoring right now. And yeah. I know it's early in the season, but it's 5 games. And you know what? The only times they've scored is when they beat up on the Sabres, who right now they might be a relegation team. If there was such a thing in the NHL, Rupper, well, they would have been a relegation team, right? And they beat up on Pittsburgh, 2 bad teams. Anybody else they can't score on. And so I wonder, though, having played How long? Because you know how confidence works, Rupper. The longer you go without scoring, it starts to wear on you.
It does. It certainly does. So it can certainly wear on you and make you press. And we've talked about that stuff all the time, where you're forcing things aren't coming to you. Because right now they're getting looks. They're just not able to bury those looks. I would say the one positive I've thought Mika, through at least the first few games of the season, Mika Zibanejad looks pretty good, and he looks like Mika who potted 40 a few years back. Now he just has to actually score those goals. Now he's hitting posts and he's getting shots blocked, etc. I will say, looking at that roster though, Vinny Trocheck had a slow year last year. Just put him on LTIR, and it's wild though that losing him, how different their lines look to me. Like they and the reason why I said he struggled last year, like it wasn't like last year he was shooting the lights out. I mean, he was one of the guys that struggled for the Rangers. But just when you remove a centerman, your second line center, or at times as your number one center, it changes a lot. Their back end is just what it is. I mean, Adam Fox is the guy who's going to get points, and the rest of them have to defend. They don't have much offense coming from the blue line. So it is going to look different this year. It certainly shouldn't look like this. But I think as long as they're defending, it shows me that Mike Sullivan's systems are being taken in.
What about the New York Islanders, Rupper? They are who I thought they were, right? Like, hey, I know they got Schaefer, and it's a great story, and that's awesome, but the Islanders are in a rebuild mode. Make no mistake about it. And it's probably the best start for them, because you got young Schaefer. You need a few other young players to come in before they get rid of kind of, a lot of the older deadweight players on that team. And I wonder, because there are lots of teams searching for goalies, and I know Sorokin's got to know move, and the Russians love and play there, so maybe they don't want to trade him. And I probably wouldn't trade him, to be honest, because I'm like, then I'd spend the next 10 years trying to find another goalie. But I still think the Islanders are a ways away.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it. I think I mentioned this to you before. Maybe not. I joke around. I work with Corey Schneider here in NHL Network, and I said that he was he was the worst thing that ever happened to the Devils organization in the last however many years, because he played so well in New Jersey that it really masked what they were as a team. And they were probably in a mode where they should have stripped it down a little bit and rebuilt. And they didn't do that because they were a bubble team every year. That's the New York Islanders. And you can argue probably at the same rate, that same GM that was in charge of New Jersey getting Corey Schneider is the same one that was at the Islanders up until this year in Lou Lamoriello, where Ilya Sorokin is a fantastic goaltender. It's just not what this franchise needed right now. I mean, you always need a great goaltender, but it's done just that. It's masked and allowed them. They've made the playoffs, and it makes them think there's something that they're not. I guess my big question is, everybody was all over Lou for his loyalty to that core group and running it back. But you get a new group, a new regime, they're kind of doing the same thing. I mean, they got the first overall pick, but so I don't know, is it ownership? Is it someone is believing that this is the group that's going to push this thing forward, where I think everyone else in the hockey world feels like, hey, I don't know what that looks like, but we should strip this down and start building for the future. And Schaefer helps. I think it gets some of the focus off maybe the negative side of it. But, I mean, this is kind of what everybody expected with the New York Islanders.
Yeah, 100%. What about the Devils?
Yeah, the Devils are it'll be interesting to see what's going on here with Jacob Markstrom. And that's a concern. That game against Columbus, you had the cramp in there with Jake Allen. He looks to be the guy tomorrow going against the Florida Panthers. And Markey's a little dinged up. I think it's a couple weeks. They're going to reevaluate and see where he's at. The Devils are an interesting one. Man, they look good. They look really good against the Tampa Bay Lightning. And I don't know if it was how dominant the Devils looked or it's just how bad Tampa was, because that was the game where John Cooper was losing his mind on the bench. But the Devils dominated that game. They're a fun group to watch, because dating back a few years, they could put the puck in the net, and for them, it's about defending too. Like, if they can defend the right way, I think they're a tough out. But they've got a lot of pieces on that roster. What's that kid's name? I always mess it up. Gritsiuk, the young kid.
Yeah.
I think he's got 3 points, and he's been really fun to watch. He sets things up. He's playing confident. He's getting moved around their lineup, getting more and more minutes. I thought he's been really, really good. And they've got a unique power play. And when they're healthy with Luke Hughes and Dougie Hamilton, Sheldon Keefe can plug and play. All right, today, because of this matchup, we're going to go with Dougie at that right-hand shot on that power play. And then maybe there's another matchup where they're thinking that we're going to go Luke Hughes, and they're doing it. They're not just staying with the same unit. So they're an interesting one for me. Right now, of those three teams, they obviously look the best.
Looking at the Buffalo Sabres, Rupper, that's an organization that has missed the playoffs for 14 consecutive years. They're off to another terrible start. They can't score again. The only thing going for them is their penalty kills. I think 100%. That's the only thing they have going for them. They're already talking about, oh, geez, you know what? We need more from their players. Or like, there just seems to be a lot wrong in Buffalo. Is this another long season, or do you have any hope that they can turn it around?
I mean, I wish I could say different. I don't really have any hope. It seems like the same story all the time, and I don't want to be here and just continually throw dirt on them. But we can only talk about the talent they have, and at some point you need direction. And it almost feels like I was having a conversation the other day, and I thought this phrasing was pretty good. And hang with me, because it's a little drastic in some ways, but it's almost like when you get franchised like this, and hey, we've said on here, I'm a Cleveland Browns fan, so I see it. Once you get mold in the building, it's tough to get past that without doing a teardown. Like, and I don't mean, oh, we're going to rebuild. Like, I'm saying to that, I don't want anybody losing their jobs. And so what I mean by this, though, and I'm not saying this is what Buffalo should do, but in certain sports, we see it sometimes, like everything needs to change, not just a certain position, a polarizing position. I'm talking everything where, I mean, we see in other sports, sometimes it's medical staff, it's everything. And again, I'm not calling for anybody's job. I don't know the situation there, but when you go through losing, there's that losing tradition so long. I played on a couple bad teams where even you're in there, again, I want to keep saying, I'm not saying this is happening in Buffalo, but you could be in the training room and trainers, they're worn too. And it just becomes this negative, oh, here we go again. And it's almost like you gotta have full demolition and just fully start the organization from anew, because you got to get rid of that feel. And that mold is running wild. And that's what's happening in Buffalo. Like, they just cannot, it's a losing tradition. And it stinks, because that fan base, man, they're so rabid. Like, they show up all the time and they want it. Honestly, Greg, I don't know what you do. They've got some talented players, but they don't have any direction. So I don't know. You add that into all the guys that have left that team and that franchise over the last number of years for thriving and winning cups elsewhere. It's bad. Like, it's win now pretty much right now against Ottawa. They're playing tonight.
Yeah,
like Buffalo, Ottawa. Like, it's win now. And are you kidding me? It's October 15th. It's win now for the Buffalo Sabres.
Well, you look at it, and it's the Senators, no Tkachuk. What do you make of them a month without him? I think they've got enough, like Stützle and other guys, to overcome it. But we'll see, because he is definitely one of the emotional engines of their team.
Yeah, so I saw that they were 5-4-1 without Tkachuk. I don't know if that was last year. I don't know if you missed that much last year, if that's over a certain period of time, but they've shown that they can kind of tread water there. And we always say that phrasing whenever you lose your leader, can we just tread water here for this stretch? It's kind of I think it could be a blessing in disguise, because this is a team who every season in the past 5 years, their Novembers have been awful. And I know we're not quite to November, but Tkachuk's out at least, I think, 4 weeks. That'll lead us into November. They were able to overcome that last year and get going and make the playoffs. But now it's kind of the moment of truth. Are we a different team? I think they are. I think what we saw last year, their team is starting to turn the corner, and has in some regards. But now it's like they got dealt a pretty big blow early on. I want to see how they respond, because I agree with you. They've got a good squad, and like you can't always rely on the big boy to go lead. Like, let's see other guys step up. I'm looking at Tim Stützle to step up in a big way. I think he's probably the most talented guy in the NHL that we don't speak about in regards to leading.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
Like we don't, I just feel like we're never like, hey, Tim Stützle's got to lead this team to the playoffs. It's always Brady's got to do it, or, Jake Sanderson's got to do it. It's like, this kid's capable, and I want to see if he can elevate his game right now, but it's going to be tough sled. And I think they got it in there to handle it though.
What's your thoughts, Rupper, on now the Oilers didn't have a ton of penalties last night. They don't take a ton of penalties, but early on in the year, McDavid and Draisaitl are in their top 3 penalty killing forwards. I don't like it personally. I don't think it's a success. Now, Florida has Barkov and Reinhart, and they do it, so you can do it successfully. But Florida also doesn't have a number 1 power play that plays the minutes that Edmonton's number 1 unit does. So what do you think of their penalty kill distribution minutes for their forwards? Is it just early on the key to get a good start? And is it risky business having your superstars on the penalty kill?
Yeah, I mean, I don't love it. I think that if you have to do it, then your team's not built very well. And the Oilers don't have to do it. I think they do it at times. We saw McDavid in the playoffs. He was doing it, and he was pretty dangerous out there when he was out there. You got to mind your P's and Q's when Connor's out there, Leon's out there on the power play, or when you're on the power play and they're on killing. So there's that side of it. I just think long term, sure, you're going to put those guys out there from time to time to maybe catch them off guard, change the tide of a game, maybe get a shorthanded goal or create something. Even if they are great penalty killers, and they're pretty good penalty killers. Like, this isn't like, oh, we're just going to score goals. No, they can kill penalties. But I just find that I mostly want to try to get them out there the last 20 seconds. Try to catch them at a certain time. We know that they're going to be used after a penalty kill. Of course,
Yes.
You're going to try to grab hold of momentum right away. But I like to try to sneak them out there at the end. But as far as carrying the lion's share or being a part of the top 4 forwards to kill penalties, I find that's what you pay your bottom 6 for.
Yep. And
not even talking about risking of the risk of injury, which is certainly there. It's more just getting those guys involved. Like, that could be the difference of those guys playing 5-on-5 minutes and not trying to survive those shifts, and maybe actually make it a difference in a positive way for your team, because you're getting an extra 3 minutes of PK time in a game. So I don't love it. I can understand from time to time using it, but in the long haul, I think it's not the way to go.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Rupper, have a good week, buddy. We will chat with you again next week as we get a little deeper into the season. But man, there's already some teams with a little bit of nerves in the first week of the year. So we'll see what happens in week 2.
Yeah, if we change to the American Thanksgiving was the cutoff for playoffs, I feel like some of the teams we should probably move it to the Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It kind of feels like we could talk about that with a couple teams, right?
God, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, Halloween might be the new benchmark for it, for sure. Yeah, I like it. Awesome. Thanks, Rupper. Have a good one, buddy.
All right, thanks, buddy.
There you go. It's Mike Rupp from the NHL Network. Canadian Thanksgiving. That's when you can tell who can make the playoffs or not. Oof. God, if you're a Buffalo fan, you're feeling that. God, they are not good. The Islanders, I think, are kind of who we thought they'd be, at least for me. They're not very good. And the Calgary Flames can't score. That's not a huge surprise to me at all. And also, what did I say at the start of the year? Wolf had an unreal year last year. But it's a lot to ask when your team can't score. And now you're in the second year for goalies. And we can go around the NHL. It's hard. Like, a lot of people say, oh, Skinner's inconsistent. He wasn't inconsistent in 2024. Look at his numbers under Chris Knobloch. 50 starts with Chris Knobloch. Led the league in wins. Fifth, 7th, and 8th in save percentage, goals saved above expected, and goals against average. Top 8 in all 3. Led the NHL in wins. That's consistent. He had 2 outings against Vancouver he didn't like. So that's 73 games. And because of 2, that means he was an inconsistent season in 24. Give me a break. He was inconsistent last year, 100%. Well, newsflash, people. Welcome to the NHL. What did Jacob Markstrom do every year? 899, 900, 922. 899, 918. 902, 922. It happens. There's very few guys who every year stay pretty consistent for goal. And if they do, They're the elite goalies. Just like you got forwards, lots of them, big year. Hey, he had a career year, and then he never came close to it again. So to me, I'm not surprised the Flames can't score. I'm not surprised they're giving up more goals because you have more of a scouting report on goalies. It's just a fact. You have goalie coaches who can break down everything, and they will find ways. And the difference between a 901 and a 916 isn't that much sometimes if all of a sudden you're doing a little bit better pre-scouting on goalies. And that's what's going to happen when you come to the second year. Teams now seeing a goalie more. So combine that with the fact that the Flames aren't in the offensive zone that much. You're just putting too much pressure on your goalie. Quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk about more on the Oilers game last night. Jake Wallman, is he going to play tomorrow? Maybe. He practiced today. There was some good in that game, but there was also some bad. We'll discuss it next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You've probably heard the term supply and demand. Something is needed and someone supplies it. We're GS Construction, and we're in the supply and demand business with you. Edmonton and the surrounding area continue to grow. Infrastructure has to be continually replaced and upgraded to keep up with demand. You see it with new buildings and new roads, but what about below ground, where all sorts of pipes bring you water and take wastewater away? That's where we come in. For more on what we do, go to gsconstruction.ca.
Whoa, who turned off all the lights?
Experience the new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and delicious, made with activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited about the new charcoal menu.
Wow, that is good.
Right?
Available now, only at Booster Juice.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The madness continues at the Brick. Get your home ready to host. Save up to $1,200 on Made in Canada sofas and sectionals, up to 30% off coffee tables and nightstands, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off appliances. Hockey season is here, and so are big savings on big screen TVs. Save up to $800, plus get free local delivery on screens over 50 inches. The Brick, saving you more.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique, family-owned, independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Action Electrical's projects team takes the field, folks, ready to execute the entire play for new commercial builds.
Absolutely. They're masters of design build, sketching strategy from initial blueprints to core electrical infrastructure. The team never misses on complex projects.
Known for handling big league constructions and major renovations, ensuring flawless execution, hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
Hi, I'm Al Hamilton, first captain of the Edmonton Oilers. Prostate cancer is the most common cancer in men, and here in Alberta, we're fighting back. This November, every dollar you give helps the Prostate Cancer Centre fund early detection, testing, and life-saving support right here in our province. Let's keep it in Alberta for our fathers, brothers, husbands, and friends. Visit keepitinalberta.ca to start your men's health fundraiser or donate today. Together, we can look after the men in our community. Thank you for your support.
Don't forget me on Armistice Day.
No Stone Left Alone shall remember our Canadian Armed Forces and educate future generations so they'll never forget. Watch our national live stream ceremony from Beachmount Cemetery in Edmonton, 10:30 a.m. November 5th at nostoneleftalone.ca. For ceremony times and dates in your area, go to nostoneleftalone.ca. To honor, to educate, to remember.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs. Specializing in selling and servicing cranes, get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.232. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. You can always get involved. Text us 833-401-1440 in our email inbox, 833-401-1440. We got a lot of texts flying in. Guys, fans can crap on Skinner if they want better playoff numbers than Hellebuyck for a fraction of the cost. You want to talk about inconsistent goaltending? At least ours doesn't come with an $8 million cap hit. P.S. We didn't lose to Florida because of our goalie. We lost because Florida stood us up at the blue line and dominated the boards. From Talon Dega. You guys, let's be real. Button had the best take on this performance. Skinner's an inconsistent goalie. It's who he is, what he's proven to be, and it's not changing. Get a new goalie. Oilers. Rage Texter B. Oh, well, you know what? I'll disagree with Craig. Just like he said that Hudson's a better value contract than McDavid. I don't agree with that either. We'll talk about it on Friday. But Stuart Skinner didn't have a good year last year. Valid. 2024, he's extremely consistent. 50 games under Knobloch. 50. He led the league in wins. Top 8 in goals against, save percentage, goals saved above expected. You tell me that's not consistent? And then in the playoffs, 21 out of 23 games. He was very good. He had 2 bad games. But those 2 games mean he's inconsistent. Go grab a check of every goalie out of 73 games. I'll tell you they'll have more than 2 stinkers for sure. So yeah, last year he wasn't good, but that's like par for the course for a lot of goalies in the NHL. It's just a fact, and go down the list. You mentioned Hellebuyck, good in the regular season, not good in the playoffs. Right? Jake Ottinger is good till he meets the Oilers. Then what happens? We can find a lot of goalies, right? Heck, Bobrovsky. The Florida Panthers, remember when they signed Spencer Knight in September of 2022? The Panthers had finished first in the league the year before and flamed out in the playoffs. They didn't like Bobrovsky's game. Geez, we don't know. So Spencer Knight, who had like 30 NHL games, got a 3-year deal at $4.5 million. Guess what? Never played. Even they weren't sure what they had, because a lot of people don't. You need to have a lot of patience with goaltending. You do. And now, is Stuart Skinner going to be a Hall of Fame goalie? No. But you need a Hall of Fame goalie to win. Right? You need consistency. You need a good team. I agree with the texter. Edmonton didn't lose the cup solely on goaltending. Like, give me a break. Look at Game 5 last year. The series was 2-2. Did Stuart Skinner cost him Game 5? Not even close. Oh, Game 7. You score 1 goal. You lose 2-1. Tell me, how many games do you win in Game 7 Stanley Cup Final scoring 1 goal? Got you there. At $2.6 million. So anybody who wants to replace the goalie, tell me the players you're taking out of the lineup to get the other goalie. Because it's a myth theory that's based on nothing factual. It's based on a what if, well, this is what I think. And that's great that you think it. But it's not true. No one knows if it's true. Well, if the Oilers had this goalie, they would have won. Are you sure? You're certain about that? I'm sure Winnipeg Jets fans think the same thing about Hellebuyck. We got Hellebuyck. We got a chance in the playoffs. Doesn't always work. You never know. So, Stuart Skinner, the past doesn't matter for now. And Stuart Skinner, Actually, he made one mistake in a 60-minute game against Calgary. I actually thought his positioning, to me, the most positive thing for Skinner through 2 games. Yeah, he's got to own the brain fart, no question. But it wasn't a technical thing. It wasn't where he wasn't getting side to side. He'd taken too much ice. He couldn't get across. His positioning and his balance has been way better. And that last year, to me, was the thing that got him in trouble. So if he solidifies that, that's a big bonus. So now we'll see if it continues tomorrow night. But make no mistake, the Oilers have played 3 games. They've had one player who's stolen them a game. Right? We're not even talking about the fact, like, have McDavid and Draisaitl done anything in 3 games, 5-on-5? Nothing. They're making $26.5 million. What have they done 5-on-5 so far in 3 games? And people are all upset that Stuart Skinner played well. Yeah, but he didn't play well last year. Great analysis. He didn't play well last year. Who cares about last year? He's played well this year. He stole him a game in the 3rd game of the season. He's off to the best start of his career. Here we are. It's ultra early in the NHL season. Stuart Skinner's 3rd in the NHL in goals against average at 1.44. And he's 5th in the NHL in save percentage at 942. Now, I know that the save percentage is going to come down. The goals against average is going to go up because no goalie goes through a season at 942 and 144. But he's off to a good start. That's what you want. They wanted a good start. The goalie's played really well. He made 1 error, and everybody freaks out over 1 error out of 125 minutes. 1 decision that wasn't good. That's it. The other 124 minutes and 55 seconds, it's been really solid. So I don't have much of an issue at all with Skinner. Now you got to keep playing well, but you can't just say, well, he's got to keep playing better, and then nobody else gets criticized. Like, look at the Oilers last night. They weren't very good 5-on-5. And it just illustrates from one game to the next, guess what? It's really hard to be ultra consistent. The Oilers' defensive game against Vancouver, pretty solid. Didn't give up a high danger chance. Well, what happened the next game? Because every game's new. Every game's different. But you can't just sit there and say, well, the goalie's the only one who's got to be consistent. Has the rest of their team been consistent every game through 3 games this year? God, no. They were a tire fire defensively last night at key times and really didn't generate anything offensively last night. You know, Trent Frederick scored a big goal. Good for him. Actually, I like that line. Kapanen, Podkolzin, and Frederick. Like that line a lot, actually. Big bodies, can skate. Even when Philp was there, it was good. And Frederick, good for him to get a goal. It was a nice goal. Comes in 5th career goal against Shesterkin. I wonder if that's the most goals he scored against any goalie. I guess it might be. Because it's not like he has a, boatload of goals in his career thus far, but likes playing Shesterkin anyway. That's positive. But I look at the Oilers' offensive 5-on-5 play through 3 games, and we talk about them wanting to get off to a good start. Are you telling me that the Oilers' 5-on-5 offensive game is off to a good start? Trent Frederick, 3rd-line center when he scored. Noah Philp, 3rd-line center when he scored. And Andrew Mangiapane. That's the only goals they've scored in 3 games. They have 3 goals, 5-on-5. That's it. Kapanen leads them with 2 points, 5-on-5. McDavid has 1 assist. Draisaitl has no points. Nugent Hopkins has 1 point. Bouchard, no points. Like, if we're going to talk about what's not working early in the year for the Oilers, it's their offense 5-on-5 from the top 6. It's not good enough. Right? They had 1 goal. It was a nice shot by Mangiapane. Really nice shot. Kind of on an odd broken play, was managed to stay onside to keep the puck in. And then later in that sequence, he scored. But last night, did they generate much 5-on-5? Not really. So they go into Long Island tomorrow. I like their defensive game. It's great for the most part. Now, last night, you know what? Hey, you need your goalie sometimes to play well. He did. They were excellent defensively against Vancouver, and I actually thought they're pretty good defensively against Calgary. But the one consistent through 3 games has been a lack of a real threat offensively 5-on-5. Like, I'm trying to, and now McDavid and Draisaitl got split up in the game last night. And based on practice today, it looks like they will remain split up, which, hey, I get it. You're not doing anything, right? They're not scoring, so you might as well split them up. right? McDavid was with Tomasic and Mangiapane. Draisaitl with Roslovic and Nugent-Hopkins. Frederick, Kapanen, and Podkolzin the same. Henrique, Howard, and Savoy. So basically how the game ended, that's how they're going to begin based on practice. And then you had Wallman did skate, but not regularly with Nurse. So who knows if he's going to be ready to go tomorrow or not. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey guys, I think the Oilers are playing a boring brand of hockey with pop gun offense, signed Jacques Lemaire from G. Well, the thing, they just couldn't score against Vancouver. That's the one game they did generate a much. I'll give them credit for that. They generated a lot. But, last year, the Edmonton Oilers were 27th in shooting percentage in the NHL. So their finish last year as a group wasn't very good. If you didn't like the save percentage of your goaltenders, how can you like the shooting percentage, right? At the end of the day, wins matter. Just like, hey, you score enough, great. But they could make life easier on themselves at time if they bury a little bit more. And right now, they've had very little net front offense. And that's where a lot of goals come from. Ugly goals, bang home rebounds, get traffic in front. They need to do more of that. They need to do much more of that. Take a quick break. We'll return. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love, better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquacentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade, safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Looking for an all-season vehicle with room for the hockey gear, comfort for the daily commute, and rugged capability for your weekend adventures? That's the all-new 2025 Jeep Compass, and you'll find it during the biggest sale of the year this month at St. Albert Dodge. Now, what can I say? It's a Jeep, it's a 4x4, and it's loaded with standard features like an 8.4-inch touch screen, keyless entry, and heated front seats, all starting from just $34,900. Head up the trail and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today. Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience, but it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-471-7380 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder. With over $2 million raised for local charities and his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Monopoly Double Play is back at McDonald's. So let's practice winning. You just won 25 grand. And go.
Yes!
I said 25 grand.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah!
Much better. Okay, now you just won a brand new Chevrolet Corvette. I think she just fainted. Impressive. Feel like a winner on pack and in-app. Monopoly Double Play is back. While supplies last, 1 in 5 chances to win game piece prizes at outset. Chances to win draw prizes depend on number of entries in each draw. Cash prizes payable by e-transfer. See rules in-app.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on Wednesday afternoon. The Blue Jays back in action tonight. And they're down 0-2, and now they're taking on the ace of the staff against Seattle tonight. Hey, it's the playoffs. It's never that easy, but man, it only gets harder. Kirby is he's pretty good. They're gonna need a great performance from Bieber. They're going to have to find a way to score some runs after the second inning. Like, I'm sorry, you can't score runs in 3 out of 18 innings and think you're going to win a ball game. It's just, it doesn't happen. Now, I guess unless you think you're going to be the Dodgers and get 8 and 9 inning starts from your pitchers, maybe. But even then, not sold on. You got to get some offense going, and they could use a good start, no question about that. So should be a good game tonight. And remember, if you are interested in watching, the game gets going at 6:08 first pitch tonight in Seattle. 6:08 Edmonton time. So that's what, 5:08 Seattle time, 8:08 Eastern. In case, depends where you're listening. Now let's get to the oil report, brought to you by Go Auto. Go Auto they are home to the lowest winter tire price guaranteed. Visit GoAuto.ca to book today. GoAuto.ca, where they also have 15,000 vehicles. Choose from. Tyler Remchuk from Oilers Nation joins us. And Ty, we'll get to Skinner in a second, but the one thing that's actually been the most consistent through 3 games for the Edmonton Oilers is their lack of finish at 5-on-5. Only scored 3 goals, 5-on-5 in 3 games.
Yeah, and I know you were talking before the break about McDavid and Draisaitl struggling a little bit in that regard, which is really surprising because it felt like that was kind of one of the reasons Chris Knobloch put Connor and Leon together right out of the gate. I know he had a bunch of other explanations, but like having those two start the year hot together and be uber productive, like that's the whole reason you'd put them on the same line. So if you would have told me, ahead of game 1 that McDavid and Draisaitl were going to be as quiet as they have been at 5-on-5 and the Oilers were going to have points in every single game, it would have been really surprising to me, but it's a compliment to other areas of their game. Like, you don't win without Stuart Skinner being as good as he was, as great as he was in that game yesterday. And you don't win without some timely scoring from other areas of your lineup. Like, look at the guys who have produced their 5-on-5 goals. We're talking Trent Frederick playing in a bottom 6 role and a guy like Noah Philp. So that is encouraging, and they are still they're generating a little bit. So I tend to believe it'll come. Like, you look at the expected goals, you look at some of the chances they're getting. McDavid last night, that pad pass that Bouchard just couldn't finish off. Shesterkin made some nice saves. That's the third kind of point I guess I'll make, is that they've played 3 really good goalies this year. Shesterkin, Demko, Dustin Wolf, all very, very solid. So I'm not concerned at all. I'm actually kind of impressed that they're finding ways to win games without the big guns just carrying them.
Well, they won because Skinner was great last night, and then against Vancouver, their defensive game was very good. I'm not putting Dustin Wolf in 1 year. Like, the guy's got like a 4 or 3.8 goals against average this year. Like, he had one really good rookie season, I get it, but I'm not putting him in the Shesterkin and Demko category just yet. I think 1 year, I'm not ready to do it. He had one good year. Lots of guys can have one good year, and then it's hard to. That's what makes it hard to be a good NHL player year after year. It's hard. Some can do it for a year, but it's tough, especially on a team that doesn't score very often. And then there's way more pressure. And now teams have a scouting report. Like I said it to me, the most easily predictable thing at the start of the year was Wolf's numbers are going to come down and Calgary's going to struggle to score. And early on, both are happening. Now we'll see if it continues, but I'm not surprised by that. You mentioned the big guns, though. Like, they talked about, hey, we want to get off to a good start. And they were probably the 2 most vocal guys about it. And they haven't done much 5-on-5. And the coach finally said, okay, enough's enough. And he split them up in last game and had them split up again today in practice. And it looks like they're going to go back to those guys centering their own line, which I actually think probably long-term is a better plan anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you on that front. And I think, this team is all about how they'll find success in the playoffs. And I think when you go into a playoff series, it is infinitely tougher for the other team to match up against you when you have Connor and Leon on separate lines. It's the unique benefit of this team that they don't just have one good line or one superstar. They have two superstar forwards. So I like that they're splitting it up a little bit here. Mangiapane with McDavid, I'm intrigued by that. I thought David Tomashek had his best game at 5-on-5 against the New York Rangers. The only thing that, I won't say it's disappointing, and I'm not going to be that guy who sits there and goes, God, why are they burying the kids on the fourth line? Because if the lines that were tweeted would have just had the third and fourth lines flipped, which they very easily could have been, then you can kind of squint and be like, Savoy and Howard are on the third line. But I've liked Matt Savoy's game the last two nights. I thought he was good against Vancouver, and he had a really good chance in tight that Demko stopped. He hit a post yesterday against the Rangers. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes with the puck, and he's really not out of position all that often. I've been really impressed with Matt Savoy, and I would have liked to see him, maybe get a spot next to one of Connor or Leon, but again, I'm not going to sit here and nitpick lines early in the season. I think the main point is that they're splitting up Connor and Leon, and they're trying to get this 5-on-5 offense going. And again, Tomasic, that's a guy who, by November 1, if he's not producing at 5-on-5 and not giving you good minutes, he doesn't need waivers. He would be 1.1 million off the books if you were to send him down. That's a guy who's probably facing a little bit of pressure here, I think, in the next 2-3 weeks to get going.
Tyler Yaremchuk joins us. You look at Roslovic. What was your impressions for him's first game?
Yeah, I talked to somebody out east who, they told me, and who knows if their opinions may be a little bit biased, they said he's just slightly worse Jeff Skinner. And I'm like, I don't know about slightly worse, but if you want to say they're similar players in the sense of, don't defend particularly well, all offense, sure. I'm curious about this fit, and I'm curious about the, urgency they have to maybe see if he can click with one of McDavid or Draisaitl, because I don't think it should be lost on anyone the way that no movement clause and the no trade clause, how all of that kind of works with exactly 4 teams and all of that. So I had someone explain it to me. Oh, is it just a glorified PTO? Is it a paid tryout instead of an unpaid tryout? Which is interesting, but I thought he was fine yesterday. He moves well, which is important when you're playing up in the lineup like that. There was a couple of shifts when he got put with Draisaitl, where they were really hemming the Rangers in, which the Oilers weren't able to do a ton of last night. So you could see in that first game how Roslovic at his best can really complement a player like Draisaitl because he's smart in the offensive zone. But this guy also didn't have a training camp, so I'm not going to sit here and be like, his stat line was all zeros. This is never going to work. It's going to take him a few games here to get up to speed.
Oh, 100%. I think it will. It was kind of a weird game last night because coming off of a Vancouver game where they literally gave up no high danger chances, were sound defensively. Last night, the Oilers, it just shows you it's hard to be on the top of your game, whether it's a group or a position or an individual from game to game. Because if you looked at how they played defensively against Vancouver compared to the Rangers, it was very different.
Yeah, they gave up more high-danger shot attempts at 5-on-5 against the Rangers than they did against the Flames and Canucks combined. They gave up 10 to the Rangers and only 9 combined in the first 2 games of the season. But I did kind of view that game last night, and this is going to sound weird to say, but it's not like the Oilers defensively were awful. They just made a few awful plays. There were some Bouchard turnovers that weren't good, and Darnell Nurse blows a tire. And I don't think last night was the Rangers exposed something in their system. Maybe that's a better way for me to put it. I don't think the Oilers got exposed. They just had an off night where they had some really unfortunate turnovers. And over the course of 82 games, listen, there's going to be 8 or 9 more games this year, at least, where the Oilers are turning over pucks, and that's just the nature of the sport and having a long regular season. So I'm not, again, all too worried about it. I tend to look at this more as, hey, they played 2 great defensive games and one game where, the mistakes piled up a little bit. So again, nothing overly concerned. It's just some ugly turnovers, and Skinner bailed them out.
Oh, it was great last night. He was very good for the Edmonton. And I think this is the best start to a season he's had. I know people freak out about the one brain fart. The other 59 minutes and 50 seconds, his positioning was good. I had Kevin Woodley talk about his balance and other things like that. The little details of his game that needed to improve so far, that's the area that's looked way better.
I know. And the people who are getting upset, if the Oilers score on their power play in overtime against Calgary, I really don't think we would have been talking negatively about Stuart Skinner at all coming out of that game. And yes, the gaffe in the third period was very unfortunate, but if you want to point to that gaffe, I'm some here, and I know people always say I love Skinner too much, I'm supporting Skinner too much, but like, I'm choosing to believe in a 26-year-old goalie and him having ability to improve year over year. You can sit there and point to the mistake in the third period. I'll sit there and point to the 2 saves he made in overtime, which absolutely saved the game for them when the Oilers were shorthanded. The one cross ice one, I think it was on Kadri, or it was Kadri who set someone up and he slid over and got his glove on it. Like, that's really impressive. And his lateral movement, as you kind of touched on, how many times were there yesterday, especially in the final kind of 10, 15 minutes of that game, where the Rangers were zipping it around and they tried the one-timer from the bottom of the circles. And, it wasn't like Skinner was flailing across to just get an arm on it. Like, he was over there and squared up to a one-timer and he ate the puck up. Like, his movement looks really, really good. And he's made some huge saves. Like, that Carrick save last night was unbelievable.
That came up big. I'm assuming he'll play against the Islanders tomorrow and then split the weekend with Pickard when they go back-to-back on Saturday and Sunday afternoons. The Toronto Blue Jays coming up tonight, 6:08, going against Kirby. Obviously, they're in a pretty big hole here, and this is a tough game. It's obviously a must-win game for the Jays. What do you think happens?
I was listening to Jeff Passan today outline like the ways that the ways that a team gets to the World Series, and they said in every series either your pitchers need to bail you out or your stars need to bail you out. That was like the number one thing. You need one of those two, and then the B part of it was you need someone lower in your lineup to have the series of their life. And when you look at the Jays in that first round against the Yankees, Nathan Lucas was unbelievable, and they had a performance from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Okay, they got those two things. Now against the Mariners, the arms have gone cold, the stars aren't there, and on top of that, not only are you not really getting a ton from the bottom of your lineup, but Jorge Polanco is having the series of his life for the Seattle Mariners. I think he's got 3 straight games now going back to the ALDS where he's delivered the game-winning hit. Like, wildly impressive stuff. So when you look at the Jays going into this game, like, yes, the pitching probably needs to be better, and Bieber's going to need to have a decent night. But when you stare down the barrel of what the Mariners have coming with that rotation, and you're going Kirby and Castillo, and Wu is going to make his return, and he's a really, really, really good arm too, you need the bats to get going. You need the stars to get rolling, and I do like that they're moving up Santander to the 4 spot for this game because he has pop. 40-plus home runs, that does not happen by accident. If anyone's going to go have a week of their life and save this season outside of the big guns, Anthony Santander finding his swing would go a long ways in them coming back in the series. And I say all that, I'm not feeling confident. I'm very worried for my Blue Jays.
What about Bieber?
He's such a tough pitcher because he's never been overpowering, right? And the risk with those kinds of guys is if the stuff's a little off or the other team is just a little on it, it gets ugly really, really fast. And like even Savage on a night where he maybe didn't have his best stuff and he gave up the untimely home run in the first inning, Savage's stuff is so overpowering, and Gosman's splitter can be so overpowering that even when those guys aren't totally on, their bad starts are kind of like, okay, they gave up a few, but they got us innings at least. Bieber has a chance to, as we saw against the Yankees, have a short start. And if it's a short start tonight by Bieber, like, your season's over. So I'm nervous, but I mean, there's a sliver of a chance that he's on. And we saw early when he came over to the Jays, when he's on, man, and he's locating, he's nearly impossible to hit. So it's a high risk, high reward kind of guy. And I mean, yeah, they need him to be the high reward tonight.
And obviously, it'll all depend on what happens. And for anybody, here's the stats. Like a team that goes up 3-0 in a best-of-7 series in Major League Baseball has won 97.6% of the time, 40 out of 41 times. Teams trailing 2-1 have a 30% chance of winning. So that's 30-1. It's a pretty obvious must-win situation for the Jays. And then if they do win, Max Scherzer will start Game 4.
The nerves I will be feeling on a pitch-to-pitch basis of 40-year-old Max Scherzer in a playoff game against this Mariners lineup, I mean, that'll be an all-time sporting rush because he was bad down the stretch. There's a reason he was not on the playoff roster in that first round against the Yankees. I'd be very nervous for Max Scherzer in that start against the Mariners. And if it's 3-0, yeah, just it's a wrap.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If it's 3-0, it's good night, Irene. No question about it. So we'll see how it goes, Ty. It's going to be interesting to see what the Jays do tonight, and then of course the Oilers taking on the Islanders on Thursday. And I know it's super early in the season, but that's a game that, you know what, they talked about wanting a good start. That's a game they should take care of business. The Islanders are 0-3. They are kind of who we thought they were. They don't score very much, and they're, you know what, hey, Schaefer's, I know, getting a lot of press because he's a young guy and he's playing big minutes, and that's awesome, but that's a team they should beat right now at this juncture of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, they're 0-3 on the season, and no Islanders fans are complaining, and it's not grabbing headlines that they're struggling. And I had someone ask me on our DFO live show the other day, they're like, how come everyone's all laughing at the Sabres right now and no one's laughing at the Islanders? And I was like, well, yeah, one of them is year 2 of the rebuild. One of them is year 14. Like, it's very easy to see the difference there. But I think if you were to ask an Islanders fan right now, like, you can pick a 20% shot at Gavin McKenna. I'm not even guaranteeing him 20% shot at Gavin McKenna or a playoff spot this year. I think they would all take the 20% shot at Gavin McKenna because they're still in that like fun grace period of their rebuild with their fan base.
Hey, what do you do for your 29th birthday?
28th. I'm only 28.
Oh, 28. All right. Well,
I am going to go to a Mexican place and get some tacos. And then I'm going to sit on my couch, drink a very large beer, and watch the Blue Jays.
Well, happy birthday. Enjoy the tacos and beer.
Thank you, Gregor.
There you go. That's Tyler Yaremchuk. Oil Report brought to you by Go Auto. Quick break. When we come back, we have Rich Winter joining us with Vinny Prospel in the Business of Sport in the 4 o'clock hour today. Dave McCarthy will be by. Also, we'll check in on the orders. Jake Wallman. Will you see him tomorrow? We'll find out after the comment and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. Late at night, on the weekend. That's how you build a legacy. LegacyHeating.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Huge game for the Blue Jays tonight. They're in Seattle for Game 3 of the ALCS. Currently down 2-0 against the Mariners. They'll send veteran Shane Bieber to the mound. Seattle countering with right-hander George Kirby. First pitch set for 6:08. The LA Kings have reacquired goaltender Phoenix Copley from Tampa in exchange for future considerations. Copley was claimed by Tampa from LA earlier on waivers this month. On the ice tonight, 4 games. Got the Sabres and the Sens at 5. Also, Red Wings hosting the Panthers at 7:30. Blackhawks in St. Louis, and the Mammoth hosting the Calgary Flames. 9-time NBA All-Star Russell Westbrook has agreed to terms with the Sacramento Kings. Expected to be a 1-year deal worth $3.6 million per reports. And the Raptors are in action as the preseason rolls on. They're in Boston at 5:30. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear from Dave McCarthy of Sirius XM NHL and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
You'll see us digging holes. No, we're not looking for buried treasure. You'll see us digging trenches as well. And no, we're not building a fort. We're GS Construction, and you'll see us in neighborhoods throughout the Edmonton area. So what are we doing? GS Construction provides rehabilitation and upgrade services to Edmonton and surrounding communities. Some of our underground utilities have served us for years and are past their useful lives. We replace them, so they're around for years to come. Find out more at gsconstruction.ca.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 furnace replacement company for zombie hunters. Those who know their old decrepit furnace passed away years ago. Its decaying husk shuffling around now as the burn is.
What a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome.
Furnace to its grave, replacing it with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Protect your legacy from the beast in the basement. It's time to destroy the burners.
Welcome back to Sports 14.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western
down
Canada's
0-2 and
backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Prostate cancer affects 1 in 6 men in Alberta, and this November we're fighting back. Every dollar raised fuels early detection and life-saving support. Donate today for the men in our province. Visit keepitinalberta.ca to start your fundraiser or donate today.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's 3-day Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved heavy truck auctions are this Thursday at 9 a.m. with Tritum, tandem, and single axle trucks, including tractors, diggers, decks, dumps, plows, vacs, man lifts, pickers, refuse trucks, and more. Info at maauctions.com.
At the Nissan All-In Clearout, there's nothing more chill than financing an award-winning Nissan for just 0%. Enjoy the soothing relaxation of zero stress, zero worries, zero indecision.
During the Nissan All-In Clearout, get 0% financing plus up to $500 bonus on some of our best-selling models. You have 0 reasons to wait. Conditions apply. See your local Nissan dealer today.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next 3-day Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved industrial auctions are this Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. These major events include multiple lanes selling a large selection of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.308. Welcome back. Sports 1440. Sports1440.ca. YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. As the Oilers practice today, getting set to take on the New York Islanders tomorrow. Islanders are 0-3 and have been outscored 13-7 through their first 3 games of the season. And there's not a lot of people that upset. Meanwhile, the Oilers have the 4th best points percentage in the NHL through 3 games at 2-0-1. The Avs at 3-0-1 are better. And then the Stars and the Hurricanes, the only 2 undefeated teams, as they are 3-0. Last year, only 2 teams managed to start 4-0. The Flames were 1, and the Jets actually went 8-0. And I mentioned the 4-0 because no NFL team went farther than 4-0 this year. Like, it's hard. It seems to win games. And you look at Carolina, and Carolina even gave up a shot in the 3rd period last night against the San Jose Sharks, which maybe not surprising. It's the Sharks, but Dallas is off to a good start, looking pretty good. They went into Minnesota and kind of handed it to the Wild. Like the Wild, it's wild to watch them on the power play compared to 5-on-5. Like, they are absolutely killing it on the power play right now, are the Wild. They're 47.6% early on the power play. Like, it's been a treat to watch. If you look at them, they've got 10 goals in 21 chances. Like, it's funny. They have 10 power play goals. There's like 11 teams who don't even have more than 10 power play opportunities. So the Wild, they're getting a lot of power play opportunities right now at 5.25 per game, which is Pretty high. Meanwhile, the Maple Leafs, they're getting 2 per game. Vancouver, 2.33. Oilers, in case you're wondering, they're right at 3, tied for 21st with St. Louis and Dallas. So Minnesota's going to come down there and get 5 power play chances a game. But right now, they're killing it with the man advantage. It's kind of keeping them in some games because they're not great 5-on-5. So will their power play remain that hot? It might. Tarasenko's come in, Kaprizov, Zibuim, and that's the thing. It's not like it's a power play that has a lot of guys that have played together all the time. They got 2 new faces on that PP, and it's early on. It's looking good. Kaprizov, of course, is currently leading the NHL scoring. Him and Eichel each have 9 points. Kaprizov, though, has 7 already on the power play. Matt Boldy has 6. Zibuim has 5. Vladimir Tarasenko has 4. Top scorers. And then Vegas has Stone and Eichel each with 4 on the man advantage. Joel Eriksson Ek. So the top 5 guys on their number 1 power play unit each have 4 points already on the power play in 4 games. That's really impressive. It's hard to do. And Oilers fans, you know a thing or two about watching really good power plays. But to get all 4 guys averaging a point a game right now, it's extremely early, but that power play, you watch it, it's deadly right now. Deadly. They could get their 5-on-5 going. They might be all right. The Oilers is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where for the Jays game tonight, better odds, easier to use. Check it out at PlayAlberta.ca, or you can download the app. Very simple. The Oilers were skating in Long Island today. Jake Wallman took some reps with Darnell Nurse, but spent more of the time away from him. So is he going to be ready? Remember the coach said, they might be ready Thursday. Well, now it doesn't look like it based on practice today. I would think if he was going to play tomorrow, he would have had to take the majority of reps in practice. I would think. Maybe not. Maybe they're just being very cautious about it. We'll see. But it's not ideal. It's never ideal for a player to start a season injured, right? You just kind of start behind the 8 ball. And for Wallman, they haven't really said what it is. They say it's not serious yet. Remember, we're hoping to have him for game 1. Well, now you're coming up on game 4. It's already over a week later than what you originally thought. Now, maybe they're just being cautionary, and that's fine. Or maybe it's lingering. And if it's lingering, then it sure makes me wonder if it's like a muscle tissue type of injury. And those can linger for a long time. The other news was the line combinations. And I actually like the fact that the coach said, you know what, 97-29, for whatever reason, it hasn't been working 5-on-5, so he switched it up. And Tomasic Mangiapane with McDavid. Would you call it, like TNT sounds really good. You can't really go MTM. It's not the same. This doesn't have the same flair. Roslovich will play with Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins. You had Frederick with Podkolzin and Kapanen. That line stays together. And then Henrique, who finished the game playing with the kids, Savoy and Howard. Based on practice today, it looks like that will be the same line. So Philip and Lazar could be out again. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak, Emerson. Bottom 4 yesterday wasn't spectacular defensively. The one play, I'll tell you right now. Remember when Leon Draisaitl put out on his Instagram post, thanking Cody Ceci, like they're really good friends, and he chirped him. He had like that one highlight of Ceci, I think, when he kind of folded his face into the boards. Cons, remember that?
I do. A still of it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can't tell me that Draisaitl isn't going to take a short video of Nurse to start the second period last night when he was behind the net. And now that ice, like the puck was bouncing all over the place. So I don't know if the ice was soft, but did you see Nurse? Man, it was like just tripped left, right, boat down, and there was no one around him. It was wild. But I will tell you, teammates, you're going to wait, and that's going to be brought up, and you're going to have to laugh if you're Darnell Nurse. Like, nothing bad happened. There was no goal scored. That's what makes it funnier. If a goal scored on it, you probably don't talk about it. But because nothing happened on the play, that's one guaranteed at some point. Draisaitl or one of his teammates will be bringing that out. At bare minimum, will be in a group chat, or it'll come out, when he's thanking him for something. Maybe, hey, congratulations on game, whatever, 800, 1,000. I could see it coming out because that was quite the display last night.
Maybe film. Me, if I was a coach, lighten the mood. Here's what we don't want to do, guys. Let's not do
like
this.
when you're on like a 4-game winning streak. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. You can have some fun with it for sure.
I think Darnell is probably the guy to laugh it off, but yeah, I think you caught it as it happened. Like, what was that?
Yeah. Hey, Greggs, I know a lot of people say Frederick can't skate. It looks like he could skate just fine on the breakaway. What are your thoughts, Mike? Yeah, like Trent Frederick's a bigger body, and bigger guys, and a lot of times don't look like they're going very fast. Right? Like Darnell Nurse is an elite skater. And a lot of people don't talk about him being a great skater, but he can really skate. Now, he maybe can't do, stationary crossovers behind the net. I'm kidding, of course. But yeah, I think Frederick's a fine skater. Like, he's not a burner by any stretch of the imagination. Like, would I rank him if I look at the Oilers' 12 forwards in straight lines, would he be top 5 in skating? No. Right? McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Kapanen. Mangiapane's quick for sure. Right? Matt Savoy, probably quicker. So yeah, he's not a burner, but I don't think Trent Frederick's like a slow skater. I don't see him like last year in the playoffs. I think you kind of have to understand he had a high ankle sprain, but last night, like, he pulled away from the guy in a short period of time. So I think he skates just fine. And good finish. They needed it. Like, they desperately needed that goal at that stage of the game because they really hadn't generated much. Like, it's a big goal for the team. It's a big goal for him. Right? Any player, you start a new season, I know he's got a new contract. I know you try not to think about it, but it probably creeps in. So for him to get that goal, just relieve some tension, probably play a little bit looser. I thought that line was pretty solid. So it's not surprising that that's the one line that is sticking together tomorrow when they take on the New York Islanders, at least based on practice today. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, against the Islanders, great opportunity for Knobloch to mix it up and give the team ability to play together. From Rob. Well, I think he mixed it up last night because it hasn't been going. Like, the numbers don't lie. You got 3 5-on-5 goals in 3 games. You don't want to average a goal a game 5-on-5. That's not going to be great. So, Gregor, what about McDavid tripping over the blue line from Triple C in the truck? That was another good one. Yeah, you don't see that. You don't see one of the best skaters in the game do that very often. And that, I think the ice at MSG, I don't know if people know about it, but it's like the rink is actually on like the 4th floor in the building. Like, it's wild. And it's hard for the ice to be as consistent as it is in a lot of other arenas. It just is. So, hey, guys, I see a future Jason Zucker in Savoy. I see Brian Rustin Howard. If he wasn't so scared to get hit, easily as ready as Savoy offensively. He's a forecheck and scoring forward. Hard to call him back defensively, and the wingers in the primary forecheck. They're always last man back. From perplexed Oiler fan. Yeah, I don't know if Howard is Brian Rust per se. A little bit different. I think Howard's probably more of a shooter. Rust plays a little bit more on the inside. Like, you got to remember, this is Isaac Howard's first 3 professional games. He's never played in the American League. And it's a massive step coming out of college. And really, for a player who had a dominant year, his 3rd year in college, but his other first 2 years, like his 2nd year was good, wasn't dominant. Last year was dominant. So I'm not surprised that Howard, like, I don't think he looks scared, at least from my vantage point. I haven't seen him look scared. He's learning the pro game. Everything just happens quicker. You don't have as much time as you'd like to have, or you're used to having. And so it'll take some adjustments. I always thought eventually when the Oilers get healthy that, especially when Zach Hyman comes back. For me, like, Howard only played, I think last night, he only played 7.5 minutes. Like, I think the writing's on the wall here. Once they get some guys healthy. And keep in mind, he's still playing with 2 guys in the press box in Noah Philp. And Noah Philp's 27 years of age. So, while it might not be ideal for him, if someone was going to play 8 or 9 minutes on your 4th line, I'd probably rather be Noah Philp than a 21-year-old like Howard. If you're asking me to pick, I'd pick that all day long. Just because I'm thinking bigger picture development. Howard can go down to the minors. And you know what? Maybe he can come up in the second half of the season and just be a better player. Right? Look at Jake Gensel. Remember Jake Gensel's rookie season in Pittsburgh? Right? American forward, good player, came out of college. He spent the first half of the year in the American League. And he played well, and he got a lot of minutes, and he scored 20 goals. And then he got called up to Pittsburgh, who had been to the Cup the year before they won, right? So joining a deep team. And he came in and he played well. Now, I'm not saying for sure Howard will be that way, but a lot can be learned in a few months by young offensive players. And I would rather have Howard personally in the minors maintaining his offensive confidence. I think confidence is such a vital part of the game. And he's playing minutes, right? Like his cardio is going to be better. There's lots of other ramifications and benefits, I think, from him playing down there. I don't have a problem if he plays 4, 5, 6 games and then goes down. I have no issue with it. Heck, even if it's 10, fine. But I do think ultimately they got to get him down. They got to get him playing a lot of minutes. And I think it's only a matter of time, right? You just look at that last night in a tight game. He's playing 7.5 minutes. It's inevitable that once Hyman comes back for sure, and maybe even before then, that I think he'll be down there. And I don't believe that's a bad thing at all. Hey guys, Frederick looked like Frank Mahovlich in the final strides of the breakaway. Big guys with long strides don't look as fast as smaller guys with short, quick steps. From Craig. Oof. Man, if he could be Frank Mahovlich, that'd be a hell of a career. The big man. I like it. That's an old school pull, Craig. I like it. Quick break. We'll come back. Dave McCarthy will join us. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Want some good news? St. Albert Dodge is holding the biggest sale of the year on their in-stock Ram 1500 Sports. Every single one on the lot is discounted by a whopping $14,000. Yeah, 14 grand. And St. Albert Dodge has the best selection in Alberta. Over 90 Ram 1500 Sports to choose from with great packages, including the Night Edition and GT models, all $14,000 off the ticket price. Get down there and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts, and play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors, Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
Whether you're at home, in the car, or on the move, you're never more than a tap away from Sports 1440. Download the radio player or iHeart app today so you can get all access anytime to Edmonton's only sports radio station, Sports 1440.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle.
Throw the load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open. Mr. Rooter meets a ghost.
1 plunge, 2, and 3.
A toilet clogged with a ghost? Man, I love plumbing. You're free now.
I will never find peace. The clog is fixed, yes, but I have never trusted the sump pump.
No problemo. Like a trick set. Now go to the light, you little scamp.
Thank you, Mr. Ruda.
To resolve your unfinished plumbing business, trust one plumber, Mr. Rooter.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life, when they feel they have nowhere to turn, or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to, or think it's no big deal? Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Hey there, this is your wake-up call. It's time to change to your winter tires. Unless you want to be sliding and swerving around icy roads like you're some kind of dummy. Head to Big Toy Shop and get it done right for a great price. We won't lie to you, inflate your bill, or waste your time. Time to change your tires. Big Toy Shop, 8315 Argyle Road. 780-298-2797.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular priced order when you enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.327, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, sports1440.ca. Thanks for listening and watching the show, as well as Orders Nation. YouTube, you can always get involved. Text us 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Gregor Show always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. As we get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Ice Center, where they are hosting the Grand Slam of Curling all week long. Started yesterday and goes through until Sunday. So get your tickets, the GrandSlamCurling.com. Grand Slam of Curling, my bad. .com. And hey, if you're looking for exciting curling, man, it's a great venue. It's unreal sightlines in there at the Silent Ice Center. You know where it is, just on off of the QE2. Just, it's not a Nisku. What is that? Is that officially Edmonton? I don't even know. Like, is that considered on Nisku property? Anybody know? I'd have to look up the exact address. I wonder if Silent Ice Center, I know exactly where it is. I've been there. It's unreal facility. Like, remember when we were in a Beaumont hockey tournament and the ice plant went down, so they switched some of the games and went and played there. And like, our kids thought they were in like a professional rink. They'd never been in an arena like that. It was amazing. So it's a great place to watch for curling. And they have this the sands on both sides, and then there's like a restaurant bar right in between. Genius, absolutely genius. Check it out. Dave McCarthy, he's a big fan of genius ideas. Yeah, he would very much like that. He'd probably find himself in the bar watching the games or the curling most of the time. Davey, how you doing?
I do like smart ideas. I would be interested in that, and I like to hurry hard every now and again. Not that I'm a very good curler, but the odd time that I've done it, I have great respect for the people who have success on an international level playing that game. It is very, very difficult.
And just to clarify, it is officially a Nisku, is how it's listed on the address. I just looked it up. 35th.
Is Nisku like the Etobicoke to Toronto? As
well, no, I think Etobicoke's a lot busier than Nisku. Nisku is really just like an oil field place. Honestly, yeah, I had many jobs working in Nisku as a young lad in different places. With my last one being at Premium Oilfield Inspections, and then quit the only job I ever quit in my life, Dave. I worked half a day at a sandblasting shop. Didn't do it.
You were like, that's enough, eh?
I did it a half a day, walked out at lunch. I didn't even ask to get paid. I'm like, I'm out. Like, Like you're in there and like it was so hot and there's sand all over. God, it was the worst. Like it was like a massive pit. And they would just bring stuff in. You got this huge hose and you're just like sandblasting everything. I was like, oh my God. Like I respect anybody out there who does it, but I'm like, this job is not for me.
So you Irish goodbye from the job? You just left at lunch and never came back and didn't tell anybody?
Oh no, I told the guy I was leaving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just said, hey man, I'm really sorry, but
it's not for me.
Just said, this isn't for me. Don't worry. You guys don't have to pay me for the morning. Like I did the job. It was fine.
Right.
Like I did everything. It's just like, and I said, hey man, like it's too hot in the suit for me. And I just don't like it. I just thought I'd be honest. And it kind of looked at me like a little sideways, but what was he going to do? Like, it wasn't going to give me a lecture. Like, I got it. Luckily back then there was lots of jobs and I just went down the street and applied for a few other jobs. And I think I got a job like the next Monday, but
well, I'll put it this way. When you tell stories like that, again, it reinforces the fact of how lucky guys like you and I are to do what we do on a daily basis. Cause there's a lot of people who work damn hard and deserve a ton of credit for what they do, because without them doing it, we wouldn't be able to run society as we do.
Yeah, no,
it's straight facts.
Yeah, straight facts. Well, I know running society is a stretch, Dave, but I like it.
Well, they do things that are very vital to you. Nobody knows what, but if it doesn't happen, it's amazing how quick you'll start to know exactly what it does.
Oh, that's true. That part is very true. Yes. Now, looking at a few storylines early on in the season, Dave, it's I don't want to go to the low-hanging fruit. So we'll go to one team that I think everybody's talking about, but we'll do that a little bit later on. I want to get your thoughts early on the Canadians and the Lane Hudson contract and where you come out on.
Where I come out on it, it was absolutely theft on the part of the Montreal Canadiens. I couldn't believe it. I was staggered to see that number. He signed for less than Darnell Nurse signed for like 3 years ago. It's not a slight on Darnell Nurse at all, but you remember that summer of defensemen where it seemed like everyone and their mother got $9 million plus. Him, Miro Heiskanen, I think. Wasn't that the summer that Cale Makar signed? Maybe it was the summer after.
No, it was Werenski Jones.
Werenski Jones, exactly. And that was a long time ago with the cap where it was. Now, 3 years down the road with the cap where it's going, and the type of player that Lane Hudson projects to be, man, like within 2 years, he could look like a $6 million defenseman. You know what I mean? Like theoretically, as we think of salaries, in terms of how they impact the cap, that is an absolute steal for Montreal. I cannot believe they got him to sign it, especially after the news came out about a week ago that, what was it, that they're taking it behind closed doors. We're not going to be talking about it. I thought, oh man, like the Hudson camp is really digging in. This is going to be a protracted negotiation. Then you just wake up and boom, he got him in at a good term at a number that I just could not believe that he signed. So, like the way the cap is right now, in years past, it would be the moment that you sign, you're overpaid, especially if you sign a lucrative deal where you're taking up a lot of the percentage of the cap. Now, the moment you sign a deal, you are underpaid with the way the cap is going over the next year, 2 years, 3 years. That is going to age really well. And when you consider the fact they've now got Lane Hudson, Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, Yurosavkovsky, locked up long-term, that is their core. That is the core in which they expect to win with, Jason. And none of them have a number that begins with a 10. Think of all the money that Ken Hughes and Jeff Gordon, who also just signed extensions, are going to have to play with as the years go on over the next 2, 3, 4 years to surround that core, which I think is entirely capable of being a winning core. Good times coming in Montreal.
Yeah, see, I think I'm in the minority on this one. I look at this contract. People were trying to tell me like this is going to be one of the best value contracts in the league, and I'm like, hey, he's a 5'9" defender who doesn't really score a lot of goals. Like he's a great passer. Don't get me wrong. He's dynamic. I like all that. But like, if you're asking me to pick, I would pick Luke Hughes on my team over Lane Hudson.
Fair enough. But for Montreal, Luke Hughes wasn't going to be available. right?
No. I know, but my point is, so
No,
I
I get your point, but I guess what my point is that if you're a team like Montreal and you have a guy like Luke Hughes, who they know what he does, which is the one thing that you cannot argue with, is he transports the puck exceptionally well. And they placed a value on that. And so they determined that, okay, I agree. He's a little smaller for my liking, but that's fine as long as you surround him with appropriate players who can bring the skill sets that he does not possess. Some mean, nasty pieces of business. And I think they still need, we talked about this 2 or 3 weeks ago, I still think they need to upgrade in that area. But if you can get a guy who can transport the puck really efficiently and run your power play very effectively for a number that within 2 years will look like a 6, not an 8.5, I'm willing to pay that type of money because you need those type of guys. Look at the New York Rangers right now. They don't have anybody who can transport the puck from the back end. They don't. And they're having a tough time scoring goals. So I think we'll see how it plays out, but I think that's a pretty damn good bet on a guy that has a skill set that you just cannot teach. And I do think you need to have on your team in order to win.
All right. I look at, a few other teams. I was surprised how many people, Dave, like the Washington Capitals, like they had 111 points last year, but there's a lot of people wondering, maybe they'll take a step back. And it's early on, but the Caps still looked exactly like the team last year. And I'll say this, like Protas looks better than he did last year. Like that guy is an absolute force. He is huge, can skate. He's smart. Like, man, he is going to be a dominant player for them for a long time.
Yeah, like I was one of those guys that was wondering about Washington because everything broke there. Like I was excited about them this time last year after I talked to Dylan Strome, and the smile on his face was like a Cheshire cat this time last year. And it proved to be right. But I was concerned because like everything broke their way last year. Everything went their way. And plus they had the driving force of the great chase. And you wonder after he gets to the record, if some of the air gets let out of the balloon and then a few things don't break their way, if they were prone for regression. That's what I thought coming into the year. So far, not so much, which is good. Ovi, we'll see what he does this year. I don't think he's going to score 40 plus. I think if he gets over 30, that would be a really good year. But as you point out, there are still some areas for internal progression on that team, like Alexei Protas. That goal he scored the other day, I think it was on Saturday against the Islanders, where he left Tony DeAngelo in the dust like he was the road runner losing the Coyote for fun. The guy that has a frame like that, 6'6", 250, and can skate the way he can. He looked like a runaway wild animal on the loose. So I think he has gotten better. Connor McMichael, can he continue to get better? That's what they need to have in order to stay where they were. So, I looked at it like if someone's coming out in the Metro, who would it be? I didn't think it was going to be the Devils. I didn't think it was going to be the Carolina Hurricanes. I thought the Rangers would get in. Maybe I was wrong on that. They're having a really difficult time scoring. And maybe the Capitals will be fine. So far, they've been good, and that's been good to see.
Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM joins us. Davey, it is early on, but right now, if there was much watch TV for the NHL, it would be the Minnesota Wild power play.
Yeah, they've been good. They've been very effective. So, like some of the numbers are a little hanky at this time of the year. Like Nashville's 1 for 17. The Leafs don't have a power play goal yet. Is Minnesota's going to continue at their clip? Probably not. Yeah, there's some trends at this time of the year that are, a little unique in that if it happened over a span of 10 days in January, it doesn't stand out as much. But yeah, they've been good. And look, I think Minnesota's coming off the high of getting Kirill Kaprizov signed, and they made the playoffs last year. And I think they've got a lot of young players, not unlike Washington, that they hope will continue to get better. Guys like Boldy, guys like Marco Rossi. and to keep Kaprizov in the fold. I think they're feeling really good about themselves right now. So, no, I like Minnesota. I know their expectations continue to not just be good, but to actually win rounds once they get to the playoffs. And so far so good in Minnesota. But you're right, their power play has been impressive to watch.
Oh yeah, they're struggling to score 5-on-5, but man, that power play with some new guys on it. So it's not like you're just like, oh, okay, these it's the same power play and they're all used to each other, but they've come in early on and have looked really good. I want to end, Dave, with the how low do you think it can go? Like, is there lower for the Buffalo Sabres?
Well, if they lose to Ottawa tonight, that would be unideal. Look, I'm really worried about what's going on in Buffalo right now because we've already heard Lindy Ruff snap and lose his mind after a game. We've already heard Rasmus Dahlin snap and lose his mind after a game. We're 3-4 games into the year here. That's not good. Coming off another disappointing year last year, and it seems like it's gotten worse. Like we heard that poor guy rolling out of the home opener the other night, just losing his mind on the street. Like this is a radioactive market right now. And things on the ice are not turning in a direction that will calm that radioactivity. So, if you get to the point where 2 or 3 weeks from now, if they continue to go south, like it's game over. You're not coming back from that. And then you turn around and you're like, holy cow, we still have 60 games left to play. That's not ideal. And then if guys start asking out, how do you approach that if you're Buffalo? Like, are you letting the current management that is in place start to make moves where you're moving key players out? Like, how many times have they done that in Buffalo where Ryan O'Reilly's been moved out and Sam Reinhart has been moved out and Jack Eichel has been moved out? Are you letting this management start to try to turn this around again? Probably not, right? So then I think the question becomes, does a move get made upstairs relatively early in the season so that you have a group in place that you're confident in having them try to turn the team around that will be there for 4 to 5 years at minimum? Because I don't think the current staff in place will be. It's bad times in Buffalo right now. And I don't know what else to say. It's been since 2011 that they have not made the playoff. I don't even remember who I was in 2011, Jason. It's been that long. And to think of fans enduring that level of paltry play for that long, I mean, I just don't know how they're going through it right now, but I don't see this turning around in the near future. I'll put it that way.
Oh God, no, it's crazy that it's 14 years and they're no closer. I would argue they're farther away, and they're going to have to do some massive tearing down. And until the owner decides to hire the right people, and even if they're not yes men for him, it's not going to improve. I'm sorry. It's just not.
Like, he needs to hire Jarmo Kekalainen is an assistant to the general manager right now in Buffalo. And you'd have to think that if they were to make a change, that he would be the guy to get the job. But whether it's Jarmo, whether it's somebody else, Pagula needs to hire someone with clout, with presence, with command, that can come in and bring an aura of credibility back to the organization, because they have none right now. But also, in order to hire someone of that stature, the owner will have to promise whomever that is that I am going to hire you, and for a minimum of no less than 5 years, you will never see my name show up on your phone. And if you do, you can walk out the door, no questions asked, and you get all of your money. Because nobody with credibility, nobody of the ilk that I'm thinking of right now has any interest in working for that ownership in Buffalo, what I've been told, because of the fact that they don't feel that they'll be able to execute their job in the way they want to do so without interference. And I mean, we've seen enough now. It's been 14 years. you would hope the owner knows enough to say, you know what? I might have thought I knew hockey. I clearly don't know hockey. I'm going to hire someone, turn it over to them, and never bother them for at least 5 years.
Yeah, well, something's got to happen there. It's too bad, but it's it's a fan base I feel sorry for, because right now there looks like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And they've got some decent players there, but nothing is working in Buffalo. Davey, always good to catch up with you, buddy. Have yourself an awesome day. We will chat with you next Tuesday.
Yes. Thanks, buddy.
There you go. It's Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM. I'll talk to him on the brunch on SiriusXM on Sunday. Quick break. We'll come back. We got 5 questions and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantor, proudly delivering world-class hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada since 2016. I'm thrilled to announce our in-house production of tool components and accessories for faster turnarounds and enhanced versatility. The future is here at Cantor.com.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned, with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie, and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com or call today.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Michelle and Colette are sisters. Sisters who don't agree on much, especially when it comes to which hockey team is the best.
Edmonton is the best, baby. Vancouver's #1.
Even when it comes to meat snacks from Wilhawks.
I love the Harris Schweiner. The ham sausage rules.
But they will agree.
Wilhawk beef jerky is the best.
It might just be the only thing Alberta hockey fans can agree on.
Others can try to imitate, but no one can duplicate Wilhawk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win friends with salad.
Monopoly Double Play is back at McDonald's. So let's practice winning. You just won 25 grand. And go.
Yes.
I said 25 grand.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Much better. Okay, now you just won a brand new Chevrolet Corvette. I think she just fainted. Impressive. Feel like a winner on pack and in-app. Monopoly Double Play is back. While supplies last, 1 in 5 chances to win game piece prizes at outset. Chances to win draw prizes depend on number of entries in each draw. Cash prizes payable by e-transfer. See rules in-app.
It's back. The world's best curlers are returning to this queue for the Grand Slam of Curling Go Up Tour Challenge. Join us October 14th to 19th at the Silent Ice Center as top teams from around the globe battle it out for glory on the pebbled ice. Enjoy world-class curling and an unforgettable fan experience, all right here in our community. The Grand Slam of Curling Co-op Tour Challenge, October 14th to 19th at the Silent Ice Center. Don't miss it.
Measles is very dangerous during pregnancy, increasing the risk of many severe health-related complications. If you're planning to become pregnant, make sure you have received 2 doses of the vaccine at least 1 month before conception. Don't get measles, get immunized. Visit alberta.ca/measles to find out if you're up to date and what to do if you're not. A message from the Government of Alberta.
When you get into a new Tundra, you might find yourself hauling ATVs into the great outdoors, even if your last outdoor experience was a backyard barbecue. Because with this much towing capability, fun gets a serious upgrade. All that's left to do is drive it home. Get in and go right now at Toyota, where you can lease a 2025 Tundra 4x4 double cab SR5 from $145 weekly for 64 months at 4.39% with $7,999 down. Visit shoptoyota.ca for your local Prairie Toyota dealer today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at Cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$350. What song is that, Connor Halley? What are you playing today?
Yeah, sometimes I just put in random words and see what pops up, and that was Wind It Up by Gwen Stefani.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
It was that, or I was going to go Winds of Change, but thought I'd go with Gwen.
All right. It's a unique one. I don't think I've ever heard that song before. So
probably not.
No. There you go. Hey, let's get to it. Welcome back to the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. I would probably set a line on certain songs that I haven't heard. That would definitely be one of them. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. Hockey season is here. Big savings on big screen TVs. You can save up to $800 plus get free local delivery on screens over 50 inches right now at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, we saw Stuart Skinner respond to any criticism from last night. With that being said, who would be your starting goalie for the Oilers in their next 3 games? You got the Islanders on Thursday, then in Jersey, in Detroit, back-to-back.
Well, Skinner's playing tomorrow for sure. Then I guess it's a matter of, do you play him again with 1 day's rest, and then you play him Sunday, Tuesday, or do you go him on Saturday and then give him 2 days rest to play? It's a good one. I think I would go Skinner Thursday, Saturday, Pickard Sunday, Skinner Tuesday.
Yeah, that's the direction I was leaning as well. Obviously, see how it goes on Thursday, but from now, that's probably what I would do, go back-to-back, and then give them the day off on Sunday. Question number 2 for you today. If Wallman were to return Thursday or in the future, what do you think is the corresponding roster move that happens?
Well, if it's tomorrow, I could just see them putting Regula on IR, retroactive to last Saturday, which means he would be available to play on the weekend. It would just give him a few extra days to sort things out, because they all, guys on IR count against the salary cap, so they've got the room to do it. So that would probably be my first one. It's easy. And then coming out of the lineup, probably Stetcher.
Yeah, with you on Stetcher. I like that move with Regula. I also am not opposed at some point for having Ike Howard go down to Bakersfield. Maybe it's after this road trip. He gets one road trip, a few more NHL paychecks, and then back down to Baco. But that's where I'd like to see him play, where he can play 20 minutes power play. And hey, maybe he pulls a Savoy and works on his PK as well. Question number 3 for you. What happens tonight between the Mariners and the Blue Jays?
Well, I got a dream. Still, you got to believe until you can't. So I will say the Jays, in an upset, get a win over Kirby and the Mariners and get back in the series.
Yeah, I mean, we have to say that, right? I hope they get out there. Bieber, goes into this, probably going to be a tough atmosphere, being the vet, and gives a good performance, and the bats get going just a little bit, and maybe a little bit away from the pressure of playing in Toronto. I don't know. Maybe I'm grasping at straws, but I'm hoping that this can be a benefit for them. But it was some good news today. 4 players were named finalists for Gold Gloves this season. Ernie Clement at 2 positions. So if you had to predict, how many players do you think win Gold Gloves?
Imagine if Varsho played enough games, he'd probably been in there too. I think Ernie Clement is going to win the utility Gold Glover. And Guerrero will win the first base Gold Glove.
Those were the 2 I went, and then I'll throw in team Gold Glove, because the Jays.
Is there a team Gold Glove?
Yeah, and they won it the last 2 years.
What?
Yeah, so I'm going to say
There's a
3
team gold glove in the MLB. How long has that been around? I think I've ever, is that new?
I think like 2020.
Okay, well, there you go. God,
yeah.
I never even heard of it.
Best team defensively. The Blue Jays won it the last 2 years, and the Brewers as well, winning it the last 2 years in the NL. So make it 3 as a whole, I'll say. Final question for you. Oilers off day in New York. Air quotes off day. If you had a chance to spend 1 day in New York City, what are you doing to pass the time?
Well, they got a lot of new guys their first time in New York City, probably, right? I at least as NHL players, maybe they've gone there in their own personal time, but I would have, you plan ahead because you're going to be there for a few days, right? So I would plan ahead. Definitely at bare minimum, I'm going to a really nice restaurant for dinner for sure. But I think I would probably take a tour and do a little shopping, I think, in New York. That'd be fun. Although I know the Canadian dollar right now isn't great, but I'm an NHL player. I get paid in American money. I think I can handle it.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. I think I'd probably get out early on, maybe check out Times Square. I did a little research here. They have a thing called the Museum of Ice Cream, which I don't think is exactly what you think it is, but some cool exhibits there. I got to get a hot dog, probably a slice of pizza. And then in the evening, I think I'd probably check out a show. I'd call Struddy and say, hey, Struds, which show should I see? And then follow his advice. Go to Broadway.
He does love his shows. That is, Struddy. He's a big fan of the Broadway shows. He loves it going here too. Right? Loves the theater. Who knew?
I think you spot him at the Mayfield Dinner Theater all the time.
Oh God, yeah. He likes it when he gets to wear his vest and tight jeans. He's right into it. So it's good. Coming up, Rich Winter will join us. Vinny Prospal is going to join us today. Talk about his unique NHL career and post-playing coaching career, and the difference in coaching. And I think he had a record I was looking up. I think his team was 50-5 in the Czech Republic. So you're a player, and now you're trying to get in the coaching ranks. How is there's an advantage in one sense, yes, because you're a former player, so the door opens, but there's only so many doors to get to the NHL as a coach. So how do you kick those down? There's obviously more opportunities as a player. And you consider there's 23 players on a team, and there's usually, I'm excluding the goalie coach. There's like three coaching positions usually, so maybe 4. So we'll talk to Vlad about that. Of course, he came over. He was drafted and played pro hockey as an 18-year-old in North America. Now this is back in the early 90s, different time, and of course Europeans are able to play in the American League as an 18-year-old. But man, that I would assume that would be quite the adjustment. So we'll talk to Vaclav / Vinny Prospal about that. But first, let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Stop in right now at Fountain Tire because you're thinking about it, get tires on your vehicle. 6 months, 0% financing, or you can do it for a year. Again, no interest, 12 easy payments. FountainTire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Huge game for the Jays there in Seattle. Game 3 of the ALCS currently down 2-0 to the Mariners. They'll send vet Shane Bieber to the mound. Seattle countering with right-hander George Kirby. First pitch set for 6:08. In the NHL, the LA Kings have reacquired goaltender Phoenix Copley from Tampa in exchange for future considerations. He was claimed off waivers by Tampa from LA earlier this month. On the ice, got the Sabres and Sens, Panthers in Detroit. Blues host the Blackhawks and the Flames in Salt Lake City for a meeting with the Mammoth. 9-time NBA All-Star Russell Westbrook has agreed to terms on a 1-year deal with the Sacramento Kings. It's 1 year, $3.6 million per report, and preseason rolls on in the association. Raptors taking on the Celtics just after 5:30. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, it's another edition of the Business of Sport with longtime NHL player agent Rich Winter. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, the Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Whoa, who turned off all the lights?
Experience the new charcoal menu at Booster Juice.
Charcoal menu?
Introducing the Eclipse Smoothie, Blackout Booster Mixer, and Midnight Booster Ball.
Where's that voice coming from?
Dark and delicious, made with activated charcoal.
Can we please turn the lights back on?
Sorry, I'm just excited about the new charcoal menu.
Wow, that is good.
Right?
Available now, only at Booster Juice.
You've probably heard the term supply and demand. Something is needed and someone supplies it. We're GS Construction, and we're in the supply and demand business with you. Edmonton and the surrounding area continue to grow. Infrastructure has to be continually replaced and upgraded to keep up with demand. You see it with new buildings and new roads, but what about below ground, where all sorts of pipes bring you water and take wastewater away? That's where we come in. For more on what we do, go to gsconstruction.ca.
I'm Gene Principe for Legacy Heating and Cooling. If you need a furnace this Halloween, it'd be a grave mistake not to.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Need repair? Revampire your furnace. Just
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Legacy has a skeleton of furnaces in stock.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Plus, no interest and no prints of payments for 1 year when you buy with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront.
You're back.
I'm delighted to share our
Force
latest venture,
1440.
in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at Cantork.com.
327, welcome back.
Louder than words. Japa Machinery Group
Gregor Show
puts your
presented by
construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need.
Gotta go with Gwen.
Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Carve out for a cause at the Jason Gregor Pizza Pig Out, presented by GS Construction. Thursday, November 6th at the Canadian Ice House, indulge in unlimited pizza from amazing local pizzerias while you help raise some dough for Kids Sport. Then vote for your favorite slice to help crown the People's Choice Award winners. Tickets to join Edmonton's biggest and best adult pizza party are just $30. Head to jasongregorpizzapigout.com for more details and to buy tickets.
Looking for the perfect used ride? Now's the time. Drive away for as little as $25 bi-weekly. Go Auto has over 7,500 used vehicles in stock with something for everyone. From budget-friendly cars and road trip-ready SUVs to powerful work-ready trucks. With around 70 locations across Canada, your next vehicle is closer than you think. Whether you're upgrading, downsizing, or buying for the first time, we've got the right ride at the right price. But don't wait. These deals won't stick around forever. Start shopping today at goauto.ca.
3 locations, endless sports action. Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge. Selly's is the place to catch every game this fall. With tons of TVs, there's never a bad seat in the house. Check out the game night food and drink features and bring your friends for all the fun with Oilers watch parties all season long. Selly's Sports Bar and Lounge at all 3 Century Casino locations, Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I want to explain how our operation works. You see, over at the new RV store, they take orders and try to sell them all by camping season, and sometimes they sell out early. Sometimes they're stuck with a few that just won't move, and maybe they take a couple of used ones on trade. At No Bull, it's a whole different ballgame.
You have inventory arriving all the time, right, Rick?
That's right, Bob. The RVs at No Bull are here on consignment. Folks choose to sell their RVs with us because the customers are already here.
And you specialize in used RVs.
Better believe it, Bob. The new RV stores are not that interested in used models. And nobody in Alberta has more quality used RVs than we do. Not by a long shot. So if you want to sell yours fast, come to where the buyers are. And that's here.
And that's No Bull.
NobleRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
A lovely Wednesday afternoon. Welcome back. It is the Jason Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where it is a Wednesday, and that means the OG of lotteries, Lotto 649. You can get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. $36 million up for grabs tonight. See the old lovely number 36, who quite a few owners that would wear that earlier in their career and then change numbers. So that was Sean Horkoff, Jared Stoll, a few others. So there you go. Now, as always, we're on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as Orders Nation. YouTube and Instagram, we thank you very much for listening and watching the show. As we welcome to the program once again, it is time for the business of sports. Rich Winter is our co-host for the next hour. Of course, a longtime NHL agent, dabbles in a few other things. Ooh, looking really sharp today. What are you, coming from a job interview or something?
Sometimes I dress up just for the purposes. I think it makes you 10% smarter, and I needed that today. I had back-to-back conference calls, so we got a lot of comments actually. So not wearing a t-shirt's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea. I think you're it's a good color coordinating there. So I don't know if you looked in the mirror. It's always good to look in the mirror before you leave the house, right?
Got the salmon pants to go with it.
Salmon pants. I know. I saw those. You know me. I don't mind a little brightness. So that's very good. Now we're gonna have Vinny Prospel joining us on the business of sport a little bit, but I'm going to get to a few things. You'd asked a question. I did dig into the insurance, and yes, it is transferable. So obviously,
okay.
Yeah. So a team
makes sense.
Would make a lot of sense, because otherwise teams wouldn't be doing it. And,
wow, I was wrong.
It does vary.
Wow.
From player to player as to what, like the big one gets insured, and smaller ones obviously on shorter term deals. Usually they don't, because the guys don't. The chance of a player getting hurt that much, so they kind of weigh the odds. They tell me it varies now, and the guy did tell me, and I talked to two different managers and capologists, that it varies from organization to organization.
Yeah, because you can buy insurance for everybody if you want.
Yeah,
you're required to buy a certain amount.
Yes, yeah. So it varies, and then like you had said, on the first part is covered by the team automatically. Then after that.
The simple deductible, like auto insurance.
Yeah. So, but it's simple but rather costly if it comes to a big contract.
I think it's generally 30 games.
Yeah.
So figure it out. A guy's making $10 million. That's 4.5.
Yeah,
4.5.
It's pretty big cake. So in the early of the season, when you have lots of clients, and I want to get to this before we get to Prospel, is there's lots of guys kind of on the bubble, right? And so there's a lot of stress for different situations. Now, young players may be a little bit different, because that they're it's my first year,
because they're young.
It's my second year, and they're
not
probably
really
not as much. But how much do agents get involved in helping out players get set up for like homes and different things like that?
It depends on the situation. Like, you get older players that are experienced to deal with the team services guy. They know the drill. They know what they're looking for. I mean, I think the biggest challenge is this time of year, or prior to decisions, like Adam Ernie being in. He's got 3 children under the age of 4. I, as a grandfather, holy smokes, I didn't realize how hard it was to babysit kids, because I was always working. My wife was taking care of it. But, you got Ello sitting at home. She's got 3 children. He's sitting in a hotel, misses the kids. It's no surprise I'm hearing from him almost every day towards the end of camp. Have you heard anything? And those are the kind of things that people forget. He still not have his family there, because even though he's made the team, he's up with Dallas. They haven't given the old housing letter, which allows him to get a place. So you've got to do that in 30 days. So he could technically be sitting in the hotel for another 25 days and see his kids for 70, 75, based on he came a little bit before camp started. So that's hard.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. Now that leads us into our guest today on business of sports, because to me, I always like, everybody has a unique story, and it's very different. And when European players started coming to the NHL regularly in late 80s, really into the 90s, and it became more common, but I still think probably there was lots of those young players that were still kind of guinea pigs in a way of how you're going to treat them, how are we going to help them, how are we going to support them. And our guest today was drafted in the 3rd round, 71st overall in 1993 by the Philadelphia Flyers, 18 years of age, from the Czech Republic. And because he was European, he's able to play in the American League. at 18 years of age. And he did. He played 18, 19, and 20. Played 3 full seasons, actually 4, because in his 4th year, he did get a little time in the NHL and then became a regular NHL'er really in kind of his 5th year in North America. Vaclav Vinny Prospel joins us. Vinny, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys? Thanks for the invite.
Hey, buddy. Thanks for joining us. I do want to ask you about, first of all, when did it come from Vaclav to Vinny?
Oh, very simple. Back then in the 90s, a very popular movie, My Cousin Vinny with Marisa Tomei and what's the actor's name?
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci. Yeah. So very tough for my teammates to pronounce my first name the right way. So they started calling me Vinny, and look, it stuck for me now for 31 years here.
No, everybody calls you Vinny. So hey, could be worse names to be called, no doubt. Now, you came over, you got drafted, and you come at 18. You're playing in Hershey. Obviously, you went to Philadelphia, but you play in Hershey for the first few years. How much English did you know, Vinny? How much of a culture shock was it for you as an 18-year-old to come and live in Hershey?
Pretty much no English. I do remember what I had on a piece of paper, and that was it, because I was flying through London. I'm looking for the gate number, and I was gonna hopefully somehow find a way how to manage to say the number of the gate. But that's what I had on that piece of paper, and that was basically what I knew from the English language. So pretty much none.
Pretty much none. So how long did it take you? How did you learn English? Were you watching My Cousin Vinny? What were you watching? How were your friends helping you out?
Well, I guess the best thing for me was when I was sent into the minors that there were no other Czechs on the team at that time. So Flyers put me with the family. One of the purpose to put me with the family was to learn language properly, quickly, and basically adjust to the new environment that I was put into with the American family, with the Pearls in Hershey, which I still keep in touch with. And they became like my North American family. And it took me probably 2.5 months, maybe 3 months, to be able to put together sentences and to be able to understand my teammates and my billet family, what I want to talk about or what they're asking me.
So you're on the ice for practice, Vinny. How the heck did you figure out what's going on?
Well, that was easy. I mean, hockey was easy. You get on the ice and you're trying to take the puck from one end to the other and put it in the opposition net, right? So even at the practice, you had the same jersey on as your line mates. And I must say, back then in Hershey, there were a lot of good veteran players that tried to help me on a daily basis. And looking back now, and you just gotta admire your teammates because they were willing to help.
Vinny, it's very different now. I know lots of young players, whether it's North American kids or even European kids, when they come over and turn pro, some of them their mom or their dad lives with them for the first few months to help them acclimatize and get used to it. Yeah, was that even an option? Was that ever even discussed? Or is it just because of the finances back then? Your mom or dad couldn't just come up and follow you to Hershey.
That was not an option. That was not an option. I basically made the decision along with my parents back then in a span of 1 week because my hometown team in České Budějovice, where I grew up playing hockey, they were not interested in my services. And in 1 week, I basically, along with Rich and along with Miro Henish, we made the decision that, hey, you got drafted. You had a great European championship under U18. Let's take a chance because the golden train goes by your station just once in your life, and you better hop on it. And if you don't, it could be one of the biggest mistakes of your life.
Well, because the team in České Budějovice didn't think you skate well enough, couldn't figure out why you were drafted, and had no idea why they would want you, right? I mean, and tell the story about how you've addressed that in the past or after the fact with the old GM.
Well, the old GM basically said that I don't think he was a fan of mine, but he basically said that he will eat his shoes if I ever play a minute in the NHL. So,
did you get him a pair of shoes when you played your first game in 96, 97?
You know what? Looking back, I don't really care if he ate them or not, because I can only thank him that he didn't want me, because maybe if I stayed, who knows how everything would turn out. Let's throw in injuries, throw in a bad performance, throw in something that maybe the Flyers would lose the interest, not leaving at the right time, not jumping on the golden trail as I was talking about, and maybe not having the opportunity to go through the pain and suffering in the minors for 4 years, 3.5 years. So I wouldn't change a thing.
Vinny Prospel joins us, our guest today here on Sports 1440 in the business of sports. Vinny was drafted as an 18-year-old in 1993, came directly to North America and suited up for the Hershey Bears. Vinny, tell me kind of like how much different, you mentioned, I could understand hockey, but the style of the American League must have been very different. Like Tracy England, Clayton Norris, Turan Sandwood, Dan Kordick. Like you had some tough guys on that team. Like I'm assuming that had to be a little bit of an eye opener for you, just the style of play.
Oh, believe me, there were times that the highest praise that I got from my head coach was not when I passed the puck to somebody that was wide open, but when I actually hit somebody in the corner, because we were that kind of team. And Jay Leach back then was my 2.5 years, my first 2.5 years. Jay Leach was the head coach with the Hershey Bears. And he loved the physical play, but he also wanted us to compete hard. And obviously, 18-year-old kid that come from Europe, where basically there is no hitting, is supposed to be adjusting to this rugged style of hockey when there's like line brawls are like a common thing on Wednesday or Friday evening or Saturday night in Hershey, because there is nothing else to do. It was eye-opening, and it took me some time to get used to it. And sure, there were times when I'm looking at in the mirror and I'm saying, like, are they ever gonna give me a chance? Are they ever gonna call me up? How come they calling up this guy? And there's doubts, but you can't stop. And those 3.5 years spending in the minors, going through the growing pains and adjusting to North American style of hockey. Right now, looking back, it was probably the blessing in the sky, because later on, the career lasted for 16 years in the NHL. Yeah. And if I would have to tell my story to some younger kids, then I would tell them, go through the American Hockey League, because it makes you appreciate what you get in the NHL later on.
Yeah, Vinny Frost, and that's great advice. And Vinny, you know what? Like I always say, hey, the NHL is not really a teenage league. Like there's a few phenoms, but even those guys, it's pretty rare to have success at that level. And the American League, I would say the same thing. It's a man's league. It's really hard. You played there 18, 19, and 20, and you were pretty consistent. 14, 13, 15 goals. Your point totals went up a bit, 35, 45, 51. But then your fourth year, you had 32 goals, 95 points in 63 games. What kind of clicked for you to have that big of a jump? And that
he finally learned English and knew where to go.
Yeah. But what was it? Just like gaining experience? Is it gaining confidence? Did you get stronger? What? Because that's a pretty significant jump in year number 4, and then obviously that led to you going to the NHL and never going back.
Well, first of all, I had even though the playoff, my third year was pretty short, I had a decent playoff. All of a sudden, I was starting to play the kind of like one of the main roles, like a leadership on the team, because obviously it was my third year and I was, getting better. But at the end of the third year, Billy Barber became our head coach. Jay Leach got fired and Billy Barber became the head coach. Why? Because they also moved the Hershey Bears to Philadelphia.
Yes.
Ed Snyder, rest in peace, because he was one of the greatest owners in hockey, great Flyers owner, decided to build a brand new rink, and he wanted to bring in a minor league team into the old Spectrum. So he basically broke the affiliation with the Hershey Bears, and that's how the Philadelphia Phantoms started. Now, they in Lehigh Valley, there's no more Philadelphia Phantoms, but they brought us over, and he obviously wanted to have somebody coaching who is tight in Philadelphia, and Billy Barber was the guy. So when he came over, he basically pulled me aside and he said, you go back home and you train and you get better, and I will play. Can I say a bad word on the radio?
Well, not too bad.
Okay. I will play the heck out of you.
Okay. Yeah. You could have said hell. That's fine.
Okay. I will play the hell out of you.
Okay.
So summer goes by. We come back. We get sent down. We have the Philadelphia Phantoms team. We play first 2 games away. Our first opener is our first game at home is our obviously season opener at home. And I'm being healthy scratched.
Oh.
So I'm waving the crowd on the bench in the suit, just like that. Great start to my 4th year. And he goes, I expect hell of a lot more. So the weekend's over. We played 3 and 3 nights, and I sat on Sunday in the stands watching my teammates to battle somebody. Comes Tuesday, because Monday was a day off. Come Tuesday, Billy gives me the opportunity to be on the first line again. So I practice on the first line throughout the whole week. Then we play. Next game is on Friday. I hop in. He gives me the opportunity. We win 6-3. I ended up with 5 points, 2 goals, 3 assists. And since then, I took off. I'm not sure why, but we took off as a team. I took off as a player. Everything fall into place for me, and I ended up having that season that I had. And quite frankly, I just enjoyed the ride. I did not question why the Flyers didn't call me up a little bit earlier, but I led the league by wide margin, and to this day, I have amazing memories to how good we were as a team. I think at that first year, that inaugural season, we set the record for home wins at that time. I do believe that it has been broken since, but at that time we drew 18,000 people, and the people that were basically second guessing Ed Snyder's decision to bring the farm team into the same town where the NHL team is, it paid off, because there were a lot of young families with the kids that couldn't afford the NHL tickets. They came to our games, and we were selling out.
Well, and so you're playing great, Vinny. I do want to ask you about one player on your team, because I've had him on my show, Frank the Animal Bilo.
Frank the Animal Bilos.
Yeah, like what was your fit? Because I think it was their first year as a teammate. Like, do you remember like what stood out from Frank for you that year?
That he understood his role.
Okay.
Great teammate, but he understood the role. Today's players, at times, now I'm being coached with the Rochester Americans, at times you're trying to tell them, you're trying to let them know, hey, find your identity, find your place in the lineup. Frankie knew what his role is. He knew his position within the team, and he played up to it. And maybe we played with a little bit of more balls because we had Frankie in the lineup.
Oh, I could imagine. Like, he was tough as nails and a little bit cuckoo at times. No question about it.
I think he was a mayor of St. John.
Yes.
Or St. John's, because that's where he played before he came to us.
Yeah.
And we went there for our annual maritime trip. It was like he was the mayor of that town when we showed up.
They loved his style of player in that town. No question about it. It's hard-nosed town. So they loved all those guys back then. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back more with Vinny Prospel. We'll talk about not Mike Keenan, John Tortorella, the relationship with John, and more here on the Business of Sports on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money.
Fluent?
Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th.
I'm sorry, I don't speak deals.
Spend less, save more when you buy Round Black things from us.
Oh, got it.
Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the #1 furnace replacement company for zombie hunters. Those who know their old decrepit furnace passed away years ago. It's decaying husk shuffling around now as the burning Legacy Heating will send your undead furnace to its grave, replacing it with no payments and no interest for 1 year. Protect your legacy from the beast in the basement. It's time to destroy the furnace of the dead. Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Monopoly Double Play is back at McDonald's. So let's practice winning. You just won 25 grand. And go.
Yes!
I said 25 grand.
That's what I'm talking about! Yeah!
Much better. Okay, now you just won a brand new Chevrolet Corvette. I think she just fainted. Impressive. Feel like a winner. On pack and in-app. Monopoly Double Play is back. While supplies last, 1 in 5 chances to win game piece prizes at outset. Chances to win draw prizes depend on number of entries in each draw. Cash prizes payable by e-transfer. See rules in-app.
The madness continues at the Brick. Get your home ready to host. Save up to $1,200 on made in Canada sofas and sectionals, up to 30% off coffee tables and nightstands, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off appliances. Hockey season is here, and so are big savings on big screen TVs. Save up to $800, plus get free local delivery on screens over 50 inches. The Brick, saving you more.
Fall into savings at Wolf GMC Buick. For a very limited time, get 0% on every 2025 Buick and GMC, including the all-new Buick Envista, the Encore, Envision, and Enclave. For the GMCs, 0% on 2025s like the Sierra Half-Ton, Sierra HD, even the Yukons. Get 0% on all 2025s. Plus, get up to 84 months on the GMC Sierra Half-Ton Crew Cab. But like the leaves, these deals won't last long. Get into Wolf GMC Buick now.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
It's back! The world's best curlers are returning to this queue for the Grand Slam of Curling Go Up Tour Challenge. Join us October 14th to 19th at the Silent Ice Center as top teams from around the globe battle it out for glory on the pebbled ice. Enjoy world-class curling and an unforgettable fan experience, all right here in our community. The Grand Slam of Curling Go Up Tour Challenge, October 14th to 19th at the Silent Ice Center. Don't miss it.
They're not just a grocery store. They're a butcher, a baker, a cafe, deli, rotisserie pizza, and restaurant, all under one roof. Loca Quality Market does food differently with 2 locations to serve you. Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Visit loca.ca.
Looking at the Alberta weather forecast, wild, unpredictable, brutally tough.
When the weather turns tough, Titan Supply doesn't back down. Titan Supply has been protecting workers from conditions like this for 50 years. We stand tall with you against the elements with the industry's best rigging, hauling, and lifting products to get you home safe. Tire chains, wire rope, round slings, chain slings, and a whole lot more. Titan Supply in Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary. Online at titansupply.ca. Lift, dig, haul.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. The Oilers are back in action. OTR is ready to be your hockey headquarters. $5.75 Molson Canadian, 69-cent wings, and play, score, and win every game. See more at ontherocksyeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$4:29. We continue on the Jason Gregor Show here on Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, and X. It's the Business of Sport. Rich Winter joins us, and we are continuing on with Vinny Prospal, who played over 1,100 NHL games. Started his career with almost 4 full seasons in the AHL from 18 to 21, and then burst onto the NHL scene and never went back, although he did play in his hometown team. Way back in 12-13 after they didn't want him back in, I guess you did get to go home finally 20 years later after an unbelievable NHL and career that spanned over 16 seasons. Vinny, you know what? You mentioned the Bill Barber situation and you said, hey, you know what? I responded, I took off, and then boom, you get to the NHL. the jump, having played 4 years in the American League, especially dominating your last year in the American League, what did you notice? What was the biggest difference, even for a guy then who had a lot of North American experience, of going to the NHL? Was it an easier jump for you? What was hard? What stood out?
Well, what stood out to me was the decision by the Flyers basically give me opportunity to go on the first line because Eric Lindros got injured, and I basically went. And when I got the call, I walked into the locker room, and obviously you little afraid, a little bit nervous, like where you gonna be in the lineup, where you gonna be sitting, and stuff like that. Obviously you in awe because you see your name on the jersey with the NHL logo, which is something special that all the kids dreaming of, and you dream of your ever since you land in Philadelphia. So it was amazing feeling when I looked at the board and I saw my name between John Leclerc and Michael Renberg. Eric was injured. He was the true number one center back then. He was the MVP in the league at the end of that season, and just to see my name there, it was wow. They really giving me opportunity. So it's up to me to show if I can play on this level. And we play against New Jersey. It was March 5th, 1997. We lost 3-1. But I did get a lot of ice time. I didn't get like 6 to 8 minutes with like fourth line players or fourth line minutes because everybody had a role. But they basically gave me the opportunity to play the similar role, same role as I played in the minors. And I think that's, to this day, it's something that stands out to me because they could easily just put me in somewhere, fill in, give somebody else on the team a chance to play in Eric's spot. And, even though we lost the first game, they gave me opportunity to play next game. I ended up scoring 2 goals. We lost in Pittsburgh 3-2, but I scored both goals. And I never forget the flight home. Mr. Clark, Bob Clark, one of the legends of Philadelphia hockey, He came up to me on the plane and he said, "Hey, if you want to change the jersey number, 14 is available and you're going to stick with us." And that was something special. And I did not change the number. I stuck with 45.
Okay.
It didn't really brought me much of a luck because I got injured twice with that number on and long-term injuries. But the next day when we came back from Pittsburgh, I'm walking through the locker room and Eric Lindros stops me and he goes, "Great job, but if you keep scoring, you're going to steal my job." And hear it from that monster at that time because he was bigger than anybody on our team.
Yeah,
it was scary, but it was amazing to hear, at that time.
Yeah, well, you had 15 points in your first 18 games to finish the season. Then you were a point-a-game player in the playoffs that year for the Flyers, right? Like that, they were a good team, and you came in. Then the next season, you played 41 games, and then it was your first time getting traded. To kind of walk us through that, you go to Ottawa where there's actually lots of Czechs and Slovaks. So I don't know if you knew the guys or not, but walk us through the trade and how you found out, and what was your reaction initially when you got traded?
Well, very honestly, I did cry because when I got the call, it was the first time I actually thought I'll spend my whole life in Philadelphia with the Flyers. Obviously, you're not used to it being traded. This was the first time, and when you get the call from Bob Clark saying, "Vinny, I just traded you, and we want to thank you for everything you did for us, and good luck," and that's about it. Then. Even though I was alone at the time, I didn't have to worry about my family. It was basically just me and the 2 bags that I had, to pack. It's still a huge adjustment in the life because you're walking into the new situation. You're going somewhere else. You have to think that you're going to the team that really wants you. You're getting traded for Alexander Daig, but it was probably at that time more Pat Falloon for Alexander Daig, and they threw me into that deal, So I did cry, but I did adjust. I was injured at the time. I had a broken ankle. I was supposed to go to the Nagano Olympics with the Czechs won. I missed out on that. So you get there on crutches. You cannot jump on the ice with your new teammates. So the adjustment period takes a little bit longer. So it's tough being a young kid, because at that time I was 22 years old. But looking back right now, I talk about the injuries. I got injured in the Stanley Cup in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Then I got injured at the beginning of the year, or halfway through the beginning of the year. So maybe the Flyers thought I'm an injury-prone player, and they wanted someone who is going to stay in the lineup. So maybe that's why I got traded the first time. But it wasn't great, and luckily I was by myself. But I did, shed some tears.
Vinny, when was the first time your parents came over to watch you play live in the NHL?
That was my first year with my first year with the Hershey Bears.
Okay.
And Flyers had a lot to do with that, because Rich was great enough to put 2 tickets into. He worked it into the deal that the Flyers would take care of the travel for my parents. So they came over when I was 18. It wasn't ideal. I was living with the family at their house. They obviously didn't have any spare bedrooms, so my parents stayed at the Hershey Lodge Hotel, and at that time, and they were very surprised. There were no sidewalks in in Hershey, because everywhere in Czech at the time you could walk through. Even if it take you 30 minutes, you were able to walk from the suburbs into the middle of the town.
Right.
Even though Hershey was small, there was no chance to get around without the car.
So they did come over to the NHL. Now you go into Ottawa, and you had a few years there. You guys had some success. Maybe not, you didn't go as deep as you wanted, but you're a playoff team every year, and you had some really skilled players. Then you got to Florida, then to Tampa Bay. And could you tell me about your relationship with John Tortorella and why you were a fan of Torts?
Well, I mean, my first encounter with Torts became when I had my big year in the minors, and I made the All-Star team. And Torts was actually coaching the Rochester Americans at the time, and they were leading the league. So he got to coach the All-Star team, and I to this day I still have the picture with him having that mustache and coaching us, and. So that was the first time I got to meet him, and there was immediate impression by the way he approached the game. He didn't even want to lose the All-Star game, and then obviously I get traded from Ottawa to Panthers. I played 34 great games, which I'm kidding. It wasn't all that great. So I get traded again in the middle of a summer, because they afraid that Vinny Lecavalier is going to be holding out, and they need somebody to fill in maybe at the center spot. So I'm going through the training camp. At that time I was in amazing shape, because I just went through bad season, and I really did great summer training, and I was in amazing shape. And Torts is known about his grueling training camp. Yeah. And I went through it like a knife through the hot knife through the butter. It didn't. I didn't have any issues skating around. I didn't have any issues going through the practices. And he loves to see people suffer. He loves to see players that quit, so he can immediately make an impression. And he knows who is going to quit on him in the tough games. And all of a sudden, everything clicked for me walking into that Tampa Bay situation, and him being the head coach. And even though that I started the season on the fourth line, because they were number one center was Vinny Lecavalier, because he signed 2 days before the season opener. Second center was Brad Richards. Torts still gave me opportunity on the fourth line. And luckily, just like in my big year in the American Hockey League, a puck went in for me a couple of times, and I got to play up in the lineup. And he called me in, and he goes, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is I want to move you up. The bad news is you're not going to play center because you are not better than these two centers that we got, but you can play wing and you can pass to them. And I go, sure, I'm right on. Just put me in there. And he put me with Vinny. He put me with Ruslan Fedotenko or Marty St. Louis at certain times. And we immediately clicked with Vinny. And to this day, we have an amazing relationship. And with Torts is the same way. He gets most out of his players. And wherever he preaches, whatever he does as a coach, worked on me as a hockey player. Believe me, there were times when I had tough time adjusting to his coaching style. But I have to say that he was the best coach that I ever had. He's a true friend of mine to this day. He's someone that I really look up to because people don't know his other side away from the ring. And a lot of people, hockey people, they don't know what kind of teacher he is when he is inside the locker room because they only see the antics that goes on the bench. But he's a great bench coach. He's not about the X's and O's. He obviously wants the team to play certain way, but all of above, he cares about his players. He cares about his staff. He cares about you as an individual. And whatever he does makes you a better person and better player.
Now, Vinny, you followed him around a lot, but it wasn't always smooth. There was a little bump around an interview you had in Tampa. But tell us about that, and then tell us just about the time you spent really following Torts around North America a little bit.
Well, at that time, we were kind of like the Lightning was on the decline. Maybe because of the salary cap, the Jay Feaster was the GM. He had to make decision on Nikolai Habibulin. Nikolai left to Chicago for a big contract. We have started having issues in the net because we couldn't find the goalkeeper. There was going to be change of ownership in there. Oren Kules was on his way in along with Lenny Berry. And that season, prior they came in, we were basically going from bad to worse, and it was not going well. And at the time, believe it or not, I was actually having a really good hockey season regarding goal scoring. At that year, I scored 33 goals, which is by far the most that I ever scored as a player. But we also had a huge disagreement with Torch in regards of my spot, because to that day I played with Vinny and Marty. Yeah. But at the time, Brad Richards was our number 2 center, and Torts wanted to help him because he was not producing, he was not scoring, and Richie at the time was a really important player for us. And all of a sudden I get moved away from that line and I get put somewhere else, and all of a sudden I'm wondering why. And Brad Richards is put on the left wing with Vinny and Marty, and my ice time gets cut. I'm the second leading goal scorer on the team at that time, and I don't know why. And then all of a sudden, we play a couple games. I'm not scoring, and I don't really like it, and I'm kind of not being probably as good of a pro as I should have been, and go see Torts right away. But I kind of threw in the antics of like being feeling sorry for myself. And we playing home game at home against Montreal Canadiens, and I'm starting the game on the 4th line. And then all of a sudden in the first period, there's probably like 6 minutes left, and Torts put me back with those 2 guys. And I go out there. We have a great first shift together. Then I'm over the boards for the second shift with them, and I score the goal. I go on my knees. I'm basically, celebrating like this is Stanley Cup game-winning goal or something like that. Well, long story short, we win the hockey game 3-2. I scored 2 goals, game-winning goal, I believe, in that game. Paul Kennedy, at that time, TV guy for the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think he's still there. Paul Kennedy, hello. He stops me on the bench and he goes, Vinny, can we do the on-bench interview? I go, sure. Emotion gets better of me. It's like, obviously, it's a huge game. The first star of the game. I'm feeling great about myself. I'm feeling bulletproof. Sure. So Paul asked me a couple of questions, and I kind of tend to move away from the question, and I say, well, I just hope I shove it up somebody's ass tonight. And sure enough, he's stunned. He's stunned. He doesn't know what to say. So the interview's over. I'm walking from the bench into the locker room, and it is, Vinny effing Prospel, get into my office. I didn't even make it to the locker room. He calls me in his office. We have effing fight in the air.
Yeah.
And, you know, I show up the next day. If I'm ready to apologize. And I said, no, I'm not. Sure enough, that same night, back then the NHL was, I believe, on Versus or some other network.
Yeah.
Jonesy, who is now like one of the highest guys in with the Philadelphia Flyers, right? He has been a long time TV analyst. He's on the TV and he goes, well, there's 1 week before the deadline. He's gone. He's gone. Sure enough, I get traded. I get traded in 1 week. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm leaving the loading dock. I'm backing off out of my spot. Torts is pulling in. And for some reason, I stopped. I got out of the car. Torts got out of the car. I came out and I said, thanks for everything. And I will always cherish my memories, or something like that in that sense, with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Thank you for the opportunity. And we basically shook hands. I left. I went to play with Philadelphia. We made it to the Stanley Cup semifinals. We had a great run. It was a long 3.5 months away from my family, but after that, I came back to Tampa as a free agent. Rich got me a great deal with the new ownership group, 4 years, and but Torts wasn't there.
Yeah.
But then after that 1 year, I get bought out. I get buyout in the middle of a summer, and if it wasn't for Torts, I would never achieve the amount of the games that you have mentioned at the beginning of the show, because Torts basically gave me the second opportunity, even after the kind of this disagreement that we had, even though we laugh about it now.
Yeah. Well, you don't hold it against him. You know, emotion got the best of him, and neither one of you backed down. So I definitely respect it. Now you're into the coaching ranks. We'll take a quick break. I want to come back and finish off about your coaching career and what's next with Vinny Prospel here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Strudley. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters, you can attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Fernando Pisani, Kelly Buckberger, Ron Lowe, Gene Principe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. There's still time to get in on every hockey fan's dream cruise. Book now and save $500 per couple. The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. Price start at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton. Call 1-833-347-7678. Call now to book and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours, 1-833-347-7678.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth, fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Jaffa Machinery. Do you know that Jaffa offers in-house and on-site service? Rain or shine, Jaffa Service Department is here for you. Get a quote now at jaffamachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We continue on the business of sport here on the Jason Gregor Show. Rich Winter, Jason Gregor, myself, and our special guest, Vinny Prospel, with us.
So, Vinny, I got a couple of questions that I just always appreciated how honest you were with me. Maybe Torts didn't appreciate as much as I did, but I always remember calling you one time, and I'm sure you remember this. And I asked you, so I'd heard that you're I got some issues, and maybe we got some relationship problems. And do you remember what you said?
Well, because we keep talking to this day, it must have been like I have no issues and I never want to leave. And that's why we stayed partners basically for all of my NHL career ever since I was 16 years old.
Well, it was actually better than that. You actually said, which was typical Vinny Prospel, you said, Rich, seriously? If I had an issue with you, do you think I would have called somebody else other than you? So I thought that was good, but I want to give people a really interesting perspective of how your last experience as you tried to chase down one more opportunity to play for John Tortorella. Remember, you were sitting out till I think about November.
Yep.
It was, and I was able to get the Vancouver Canucks. I think Torts was able to get the Vancouver Canucks to give some consideration to signing you. You'd spent a lot of time with your family. You came up to Vancouver, and you were skating the next day, and you called me and You told me that you thought I was going to kill you. And then what did you tell me?
Well, that my heart is not in it anymore, and I do believe that this is it for me, and I had to fly through the entire North America, basically from Tampa to Vancouver to realize that I am done as a player.
Well, the thing I remember about it was you told me you found something, and this is a real nice revelation for a player who's loved the game and has worked as hard at it as you had. You told me you found something that you loved more than hockey. Do you remember what it was?
Family.
Exactly. And I just thought to myself, you're apologizing because you found something you love more than the game. It happens to be your family. I mean, if you know enough players, and I know many of them, that couldn't make that transition because they didn't have that sentiment. And I remember hanging up the phone and just sort of sitting at my desk and smiling. Yeah, that's a great way to leave the game, and it's a great destination to head to. So I wasn't upset. I was actually really excited, and I think that's just sort of typifies what's important to you. I think Vinny Prospal would die for a teammate, fight for a family member, and I just found it really intriguing that you got to leave on such a happy note. So outside of Marian Hossa leaving with 27 goals and being pretty happy to retire at that stage, that was the best exit I had ever seen an athlete. I'm going home. I want to be with my wife and my kids.
Now, Vinny, one of your first road roommates from Hershey, they're a big sponsor of the show. He was listening and he texted in Taran Sanwith and wanted me to pass on a hello and share a story that goes, Vinny was so stubborn as a rookie. He didn't understand the rookie veteran protocol on the road, and that the veteran was supposed to choose the TV, but you always would just pick the TV. Do you remember that?
Well, because Sandman wanted to watch the TV until 1:30 a.m.
Oh,
and
no.
I was used to going to the bed at 10:30 because I wanted to get some good sleep because we had the game next day.
Okay.
And Sandman was our captain at the time. He was actually the one who took me shopping, to get my first suit in a mall in Harrisburg. What's that?
Did it fit? Because his suits never fit.
It did fit. It was a little bit different than the suits are made nowadays, but it did fit, and I really appreciated the gesture because he was basically the prime example of what I was talking about regarding what kind of veteran group we had and how they looked after us, the young kids that had no idea what basically is going on.
Okay, so
you didn't appreciate it enough to give up the remote control.
No, it sounds like that you were the mature one saying, "Hey, Captain, we got to go to bed here. Let's cut the TV off, right? Stop watching soap operas late at night." I can see that. That would make sense. Now, Vinny, you could have retired, you could have went, stayed home, but you're chasing the coaching dream now. You're in Rochester. Give me your thoughts on what is it about coaching that intrigues you so much.
Basically, the biggest thing about coaching is the closest thing to being a hockey player, and I cannot be a hockey player anymore because I had my time. But going to the ring, being around the young guys, around the young players, young team, it's again, I'll say it again, it's the closest thing to playing. And even though you don't control the game as much as you are able to when you were a player on the ice, you still there in the middle of the battle. And I guess the thing that I miss the most from being a player also is competing and having the great time with your teammates when you end up winning the hockey game. And obviously I played a lot of years in the NHL, so even though I'm in the American Hockey League, it's kind of like the circle of life, and hopefully one day I'll be able to return back to the NHL. That would be the dream.
And you work, you're in Buffalo's organization. You got some young guys, Rosen, Noah Ostlund, Zach Jones, a few other young guys that, you can probably relate to having been there before, and just, share some stories with them. How do you connect with young players today? Do you talk a lot about what you went through and your experiences? Is that the easiest way to connect, or do you more so focus on theirs?
Maybe one of the reasons why I got hired to be the assistant here in AHL with with the Americans is because I went through it 3.5 years. Because I came from Europe, because I did not know the language. I did not know the surroundings of the North Americans or the Canadians that basically grow up in this environment, and they just blend in when they 20. I started playing in the AHL when I was 18 years old because the rule that is for the North American doesn't apply to the Europeans. And we have guys like that. We have Konsta Helenius that is 19 years old and already played a year in American Hockey League. We have Radim Mrtka right now, basically number 9 overall pick with the Sabres that is 18 years old and can play here for us and plays with the Amerks right now. So maybe that was one of the reasons why I got hired, because I'll be able to relate to these European young kids that are coming over and making the transition into North America to help them and maybe give them a little bit of the experience what I went through and how beneficial it was for me.
Well, Vinny, great stuff, man. I've really enjoyed this interview. It's great hearing about your career and the path you took. It's a very unique path and one that ultimately, and I love your Golden Road analogy. When that golden train comes on, you got to be ready. You got to jump on it and take a chance. It's fantastic, and all the best in Rochester. Continued success. We really appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Rich, and thank you, Jason. Have a great time. Be well.
Vinny, I hope to see you for some barbecue soon. That was fun.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome. Smells great from the outside.
Okay, talk to you later.
Thanks. Vinny Prasso, man. You can just tell, just listening to him, why he was a beloved teammate. He's got a real good sense of humor, very open and honest, and he's a really good storyteller.
Well, and he just loves life, whether he's in a role as a father, like he puts 1,000%, can't put 1,000, but 99.9% into everything he does, whether it's helping his kids as a coach or he's just an amazing guy. There's really, I think the funniest story was Vinny, that I didn't know if he wanted me to share so much or talk about it. He phoned me one year and he said, I got a problem. I said, well, okay. I fell in love. I really, really, really fell in love. And I'm going to marry her. I said, well, that's really good. So how long have you known her? 6 days. And he was unbelievable. He just, Vinny, he is so black and white. He found this woman. He loves her to death. I'm going to marry her. They've got 4 children now and they haven't missed a beat. And it was just, it's kind of typical of Vinny. He sort of scopes things out. He makes decisions. He knows what he wants. And, but more importantly, he follows through. And it was funny. It was like, so we're scrambling around trying to figure out how to get this young girl a visa in the 6 days we had before she jumped on a plane with him. And we got it figured out. It worked out okay.
It did work out. Awesome stuff, Rich. Thanks so much for this. We appreciate it. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Next week's going to be really exciting. You want to get everybody ready for it?
Sure. Tell us what's going on.
Ian Pulver, a longtime assistant executive director of the NHLPA. We'll talk about Bob Goodenow, Bob Goodenow's experience with him, Bob Goodenow's life. And
it's former agent too.
Yeah. Well, he's an agent now. So we'll go at it a little bit. He and I will talk. I'll get him prepped before we get on, and we'll just, there'll be a lot of interesting stuff about the lockouts and what's going on behind the scenes. A lot of really interesting stuff.
That'll be great next Wednesday in the Business of Sport 4 to 5 here on the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440. Thanks, Rich. Great stuff, buddy. We'll see you then.
Okay, thanks.
Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. In October, Northgate continues on to help feed families. They want to get to their goal of 500, and they're inching closer every day. For every truck sold this month, they will feed a family of 4. So stop in Northgate. This truck's for you.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Massive game for the Jays tonight out in Seattle. Game 3 of the ALCS. Currently down 2-0. They'll send Shane Bieber to the mound. Seattle countering with George Kirby. First pitch, 6:08 on the ice tonight. You got the Red Wings and the Panthers. Sends in Buffalo. Blues host the Blackhawks, and the Flames taking on the Mammoth. The Edmonton Oil Kings in action, hosting the Portland Winterhawks. Puck drop at 7 down at Rogers Place. In the BCHL, the Saints in action there in Chilliwack, taking the Capitals at 8. And earlier today in the AJ Camrose playing Floyd 2-0. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Broadcast Sportsnet and Elks linebacker Golda Blanco. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Action Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Planning your next event? Let Loca Quality Market cater. From made-to-order meals to gourmet platters to full chef tasting experiences, they make entertaining effortless. Visit loca.ca to start planning today.
The madness continues at the Brick. Get your home ready to host. Save up to $1,200 on made in Canada sofas and sectionals, up to 30% off coffee tables and nightstands, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off appliances. Hockey season is here, and so are big savings on big screen TVs. Save up to $800, plus get free local delivery on screens over 50 inches. The Brick, saving you more.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
At Fountain Tire, we're fluent in saving you money.
Fluent?
Yes, we've mastered the language of deals. Like right now, you can save up to 25% off select tires and up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires. Plus, $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires. All until October 18th.
I'm sorry, I don't speak deals.
Spend less, save more when you buy round black things from us.
Oh, got it.
Restrictions apply. Book your appointment online today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
It's back. The world's best curlers are returning to this queue for the Grand Slam of Curling Go Up Tour Challenge. Join us October 14th to 19th at the Silent Ice Center as top teams from around the globe battle it out for glory on the pebbled ice. Enjoy world-class curling and an unforgettable fan experience, all right here in our community. The Grand Slam of Curling Co-op Tour Challenge, October 14th to 19th at the Silent Ice Center. Don't miss it.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's 3-day Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved heavy truck auctions are this Thursday at 9 a.m. with Tritum, tandem, and single axle trucks including tractors, diggers, decks, dumps, plows, vacs, man lifts, pickers, refuse trucks, and more. Info at maauctions.com.
From the locker room to your radio, Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader. Real talk, big personalities, and your texts. It's interactive. It's fun. It's where Edmonton talks sports. Sports 1440.
Missioner Allen Auctioneering's next 3-day Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg public unreserved industrial auctions are this Thursday and Friday at 9 a.m. These major events include multiple lanes selling a large selection of multi-purpose trucks, equipment, and commercial trailers. Info at maauctions.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out the new website, elksnation.ca. Articles, podcasts, and more breaking down the green and gold. The most in-depth EE football coverage online, elksnation.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 5 o'clock. Welcome back to the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening and watching. Really enjoyed that interview with Vinny Prospel, and based on the text line, many of you did as well. Hey, guys, I lived in Canada my whole life, and I can't speak as well as Vinny. Great guest from Iron, Rob, Honest Joe, Randy, Brian, Steve, Sarah, Mitch, and many of you others. Just really enjoyed that. So, yeah, Vinny Prospel, he was great. Really awesome, and could see why he's beloved by his teammates. And what a career, man. Played 4 years in the AHL and then 1,100 games in the NHL. Just another great example that time in the NHL, in the AHL, is not going to hurt you. From a guy who lived it. For people, you can't put them in the AHL. They're there for a year. It's too long. Give me a break. Give me a break. I think it's one of the biggest mistakes. Any family member who would say to their son that, you're in the American League and we got to, their organization's mistreating you. I think that sometimes you maybe got to rethink that. If you're good enough, it'll make a big difference for sure. Now, let's get to the spec report brought to you by GS Construction. Hey, you heard about the Sandman from GS. He takes care of his teammates. Vinny Prospel took him out suit shopping. Well, guess what? At GS, they look after their employees as well. They're always looking to, they got very competitive wages, and they love promoting from within. They have a real team mentality, and they're hiring. Go to gsconstruction.ca and look up careers as we welcome in from New York City. Mark Spector joins us. Spector, did you ever do a feature interview with Vinny Prospel? Because if you didn't, you missed out, man. He was unreal.
You know what? I've spoken to Vinny, but I've never really sat down and gotten to know him at all. He was always a Eastern Conference guy, right?
Yeah.
Like I never got, there's a few of those guys. Another great guy is Dana Zubris, who spent his whole career over there. Never got to know him. You don't get to know him as well, but I've heard that about Vinny Prospel. I've heard he's an awesome person.
Yes.
And I'm sure that interview was great.
No, he was. It was awesome. He was a really good storyteller. Awesome. Told the story about how he got traded from Tampa after him and Torts. And he loved Torts. He said, Torts was great, but, one game he took him off, and then he wasn't playing him. And then Prospel scored 2 goals. And after the game, they do an on-bench interview. And he was just said some things. And then he's like, well, I hope I just shoved it up someone's what. It was referring to the coach, and got traded a few days later to Philadelphia. But guess what? Well, now, traded Philly was Tampa wasn't going anywhere that year, and Philly was, and Prospel really helped him out. But it was still kind of funny. But guess what? Next time he was a free agent, guess who signed him? John Tortorella with the Rangers. So
Tortorella, you never can figure out Torts. I sure as hell can't figure him out. I'll tell you that.
I know Vinny loved him.
Is he working somewhere? What happened?
Oh yeah, he is. He is working on ESPN. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's not. He's one of those guys that he does. So okay, here's my Torts rant. Here's Torts, who always carves up the media, and the media doesn't know what they're doing, and the media did. I won't talk to the media when I lose, and the media is bad, and blah, blah, blah. So tell me what Torts does the minute he's out of work.
Goes to the media.
Goes to the media to earn a check, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not saying he's phony, but that's what he does every single time. So let's move on before I get sued.
Spec, the Edmonton Oilers last night, it's 3 games into the season, and their goalie has stolen them 1 game already.
Yeah, and, we kind of forget in the Calgary game how well he played, other than the one huge gaffe. And, I wrote the column on it saying it's great that you played well, but it's the gaffe that we're worried about. So he comes out in the Rangers. Rangers outplayed Edmonton last night.
Oh,
the
yes.
Rangers deserves that game. They were the better team. But Edmonton was able to play a game where they got a goal, and then they just defended. And they were able to play that because their goalie backed them up. They made a lot of, Ekholm blocked a couple of big shots. Henrique blocked a big shot. Nuge tipped a puck at the last second that was going to probably end up as a goal. And in the meantime, Skinner made all the saves he's supposed to make and a couple he shouldn't. And that's how good teams win games, man. And it starts with goaltending. If you don't have it, you don't win that game. And give Stu Skinner credit. He's played 2 games, and he's given this team, every minute except for about 3 seconds of good goaltending. That's a pretty good start for Skinner and a very important season for that goalie.
Yeah, no, agree wholeheartedly. It was a really good game for him. It's funny because their defense in 2 of the 3 games has been very good. They didn't give up much to Calgary, gave up virtually nothing to Vancouver. And then, last game wasn't awful, but obviously they got out 10-3 in the high danger chances. So that's not ideal. But Spec, if they're through 3 games, if there's one area of concern, and it's probably not a grave concern because of who they have in the team, but 5-on-5 scoring has been the third line. Right? It was Philp one game, then he gets switched out, and now it's Trent Frederick. So Kapanen leads their team in 5-on-5 scoring with 2 assists. And Mangiapane scored the other goal when this on a line change, right? When he was coming out and McDavid was still on the ice. McDavid and Draisaitl didn't score together once. And the coach said, okay, we're going to switch it up. And then I saw your lines today. It looks like they're going to be switched up again for tomorrow.
Yeah. So, I guess what you're telling me is you're concerned with their scoring. But the rest of the team's going pretty good. So to me, that's probably really good news because I think we'd all say, and all our listeners, they're not going to argue with me when I say, I think you can count on their scoring coming back. I think you can count on McDavid and Draisaitl putting things together. I think you can count they didn't get a power play yesterday. The power play produced. Scoring isn't the issue for this team. So if they're winning games and they're not scoring much, that's, what's going to happen when you start scoring, right? You're going to win some more. So that's probably the one area you don't mind seeing struggle at the start, because I think we all have faith, right? I would suggest we all have faith. The Oilers aren't going to go through a whole season worrying about scoring goals. They're pretty good at scoring goals. So I don't have much of a problem with it. Do you?
Well, to me, the problem is last year they were 27th shooting percentage team in the NHL, and here they are 31st again to start. So that's something look, we could say, Demko played great, but at some point, if we say, hey, the goalie's job is to make a big save, then at some point it's the forward's job to bury a chance rather than let the goalies rob them all the time.
No, that's fair. And the other thing is they pass up a lot of shots. This is the opposite of a volume shooting team, right? I watched the game last night. There was some passes, like the last pass on the rush when you thought, oh my God, would you just shoot the puck and give the other goalie a chance to let one in?
Yeah, fair point.
This team overpasses. They overpass. They've always overpassed. It's who they are. Love them or hate them or whatever, but that's what they do. And last night, I can think of one play where a puck found Draisaitl's stick and he's about 12 feet from the net and he passed it into the slot to nobody. And I'm telling you, I'd rather have my 50-goal scorer shoot from that spot instead of passing it to anybody, let alone passing it to nobody. So yes, they got to start to put some rubber at the net here. Like I say, give the other goalie a chance to let one in. They're not real good at that, and I'm not sure that's not something they should work on a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah, a little bit. Jake Wallman, looking at the lines today, I know he rotated in a bit with Nurse, but then Stetcher seemed to take more of it. So what was said afterwards? Is he going to play tomorrow, or is he still a ways away?
I have to say, in all honesty, I had to work the Board of Governors today, so I did not go to practice.
Okay.
I was at the Board of Governors meeting, but I listened to some of the audio, and I didn't get a clear answer if he's going to play tomorrow. They've been kind of stringing Wallman along here. Always going to play, always going to play, always going to play. Well, let's see if when the heck are you going to play, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know the answer, and I don't think anyone knows the answer. I haven't seen anyone tweeting they think he's going to play tomorrow. He did not practice today in the top 6. He was like the 7th guy. So I guess that tells me he's probably not going to play tomorrow because there's no morning skate.
Yeah. What did you come away from at the Board of Governors meetings today?
It was a bit of a nothing burger. The one thing that interested me, I asked about Bettman and Jeff Jackson both about, like, you got the best player in the world, McDavid, and you got the best European player in the world in Draisaitl, and neither of those guys have got a game in Europe yet. What do you think about, do they ever get to be part of this global series? Does the Oilers ever go over there?
Well, didn't Edmonton go in 2018 in New Jersey to Sweden? I think they did. Klefbom's hometown, if I'm not mistaken. He was still around then. I think
anyhow,
it's been a while.
I'm not sure that we considered Draisaitl to be the best European player in the game back then, and I don't know where McDavid was in 18, but my point would be it's probably Edmonton's turn, and I frankly didn't get a great answer. Bettman said, yeah, I hear you, but we got nothing to announce yet. They got the World Cup set up for 2018. They're quite concerned the word came out today that the rink in Milan, where they're going to play the Olympic tournament, like they had a pre what they would like to do in those rinks, Jason, of course, is have a tournament before to test it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a U20 tournament or something in there.
Yeah.
Well, they canceled that tournament or moved it because the rink's not ready. There is some grave concern that rink's not going to be ready for the Olympics. So that's a bit of a problem, I would say.
Yeah, that seems to happen like every time, if I'm not mistaken. And it always seems to come down to the last minute for a lot of these, and not just for hockey, but for other venues at times, which, hey, Spec, you know my views on the Olympics. If you want to talk about the biggest waste corruption going, it's the Olympics. And how much, like, to me, you should have 4 locations. They rotate around, and that's it. We're not wasting billions and billions of different country, because you can look at all these places that have put it in, and then it just sits there and rots and no one uses it. It's like, it's such a waste.
Yeah, I was in Greece where they built 2 or 3. Well, they built 2 baseball fields and 2 softball fields, and the only problem is Greeks don't play ball.
Yeah.
So 2 years later, all the stadiums have like 8-foot-high weeds in them.
Yeah.
So you're right. It's a total waste of money. And, I remember going to Turin in whatever that was, 2006 for the Winter Olympics, and that rink barely got finished in time too. So, something will happen. If the rink's not ready, they'll move it to somewhere else in Italy. I'm sure they'll play the thing. But typically, you're right, Jay. The whole IOC thing's a bit of a house of cards. I think it worked in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and I'm not sure how well it works anymore, bud.
No, God, no. There's been some pretty big corruption cases already. I just think it's kind of a farce.
Yep.
Now, you look at the lines that they switched up in the game yesterday. That Kapanen Podkolzin, who's ever been their center, was Phil before. I thought they were all right. You put Frederick there, and he scores a goal, and I thought, had a nice, breakaway from the defender on that play. He takes the pass and just skated away from him. And, that's a big goal for Trent Frederick early in the season.
I think Kapanen has been fantastic.
Yes, I agree.
All season.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm really he's an interesting player because here's a guy, first round pick of the Leafs, plays his way out of town, goes to, I believe, Pittsburgh. Then Pittsburgh waives him. I mean, you waive a guy, you're giving up on him. Then St. Louis waives them, and Edmonton gets them. And he really looked in the mirror and said, okay, this is it for me. I've been waived twice. If I'm going to play in this league, I better start playing hard here. I got a good team around me. And I think Kapanen has been a really good player in Edmonton.
Oh, God, I agree.
Player at the right time. And this season, you're right. Every guy that plays on that line looks good. I thought Kapanen was excellent last night. Podkolzin's turned into a really nice player. And Frederick's probably better suited with those guys. I don't think Frederick's not playing with McDavid and Draisaitl. I never thought that would work. It didn't work. And don't put a guy he's a bit of a fish out of water on the first line. Give him a role. Give him, play him where he's supposed to play, and you'll probably get a good player. Play him where he's not supposed to play, and you're going to be disappointed in him. And last night, that was a good line. Kapanen and Frederick put a goal together. They were good together for sure.
Yeah, 2 games is never enough for me. Zach Cassian, Pat Maroon, I'm not sure those guys fit in any better than Trent Frederick, and they had success. I think it's, right time, right space. You get a goal early, maybe you can change it. I won't be surprised if Trent Frederick ends up in the top 6 as a winger on one of those 2 lines at some point during the year, because we know that they're going to rotate around. And Knobloch, he's always done it, and I'm fine with it.
He moves these guys around.
Howard played just under 8 minutes last night. Seems like it's only a matter of time, Spec. Now, they do have 2 extra healthy guys, and they're still keeping him there. So obviously it's not like they don't like him necessarily, but I just think eventually there'll be a GM coach conversation says, okay, he's not playing, and that's fine. That's your right as a coach, but then we're going to put him in the minors.
Yeah, there sure is no point having Eichhardt up here playing 7 minutes and 50 seconds. There's just no point in that. It's not helping the player, So you're right, Jay. Either the coach has to decide I want to play him more, or the GM has to decide then we're going to send him down. But a young first-year pro playing less than 8 minutes a night is just it's poor development. It's poor development. And I heard you earlier on talking about guys going to the minors. Anyone who's don't tell me I'm not going to the minors or I don't want to go. That's just, it's not up to Ike Howard to make that decision. I think the last guy in Edmonton whose agent made it a priority that he can't go to the minors was Jesse Puljujarvi. And they said, no, he's an NHL player. We don't want to be in the minors. How'd that work for Jesse, right? Not very well. So Ike Howard should go to the minors, play in the minors, get a year in. Look what happened to Matt Savoy. Like Savoy is a I'm not telling you he's a way better player, but he's more prepared for this game. It can hurt Howard a bit, and I have a feeling that's coming down the pipe, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's only a matter of time for sure. Because, this weekend, once Wallman comes on and then Janmark and Regula, if they're ready, we'll see. They've said they're ready. But at some point here,
you never know.
At some point here, something's going to have to move on the roster. There's no question about it. And Spec, sure. we will talk about young Schaefer and the Islanders tomorrow on the show.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him play. Everyone's talking
skate.
him up everyone says he's unbelievable. I was talking to a couple of New York writers today who've been watching him, and they're like, "You're going to love this guy tomorrow." So I'm going trucking out to the UBS Arena out in Queens. And that's where we'll do the hit from tomorrow. So I'll let you know what I hear, my friend.
All right, buddy. Have a good trip. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Right. Thanks, Jake.
That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley with you, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. We'll return. Joel DeBlanco will join us as the Elks. Oh, baby. It's been playoff week for the last 2 weeks. They've won both. They got to do it again. We'll talk about it. Then how do they slow down this big play BC Lions offense? Find out next.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. I'm super excited to tell you today that we have fed over 250 families so far with our Feed 500 Families event. With that said, we are still short of our goal. We have decided to continue this on through to the end of October. With your help and your support, we can get this done. Please stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
Carve out for a cause at the Jason Gregor Pizza Pig Out, presented by GS Construction. Thursday, November 6th at the Canadian Ice House, indulge in unlimited pizza from amazing local pizzerias while you help raise some dough for Kids Sport. Then vote for your favorite slice to help crown the People's Choice Award winners. Tickets to join Edmonton's biggest and best adult pizza party are just $30. Head to jasongregorpizzapigout.com for more details and to buy tickets.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Listen up, because you're not going to want to miss this. Right now is your chance to get in on Play Alberta's biggest offer ever. For a limited time only, new players can get up to a $1,000 casino bonus when they sign up. There's never been a better time to join the fun. Visit playalberta.ca today to get started with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app. Must be 18 plus to play. Remember, if you gamble, use your game sense.
Game day sauce.
Buddy, quit rolling up to the bar and looking like it's grade 9 grad and you're wearing your dad's old work suit. Do yourself a favor and call Game Day Suits.
Game Day Suits is Alberta-based and makes fully customizable, made-to-order suits. Perfect for hockey teams, wedding parties, or even the office crew. Book your free consultation at GameDaySuits.ca.
I'm rocking one right now. I look deadly.
You know they can't see you, right?
Okay, Mr. Announcer, you want to go, tough guy?
Game Day Suits!
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
At the Nissan All-In Clearout, there's nothing more chill than financing an award-winning Nissan for just 0%. Enjoy the soothing relaxation of zero stress, zero worries, zero indecision. During the Nissan All-In Clearout, get 0% financing plus up to $500 bonus on some of our best-selling models. You have 0 reasons to wait. Conditions apply. See your local Nissan dealer today.
Visit your local Edmonton and area Nissan dealer for more information.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 25% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until October 18th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Portions of this hour brought to you by EWEL. Get your power play amped up with EWEL, supplying the City of Champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. EWEL.ca is your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.532. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. You can say hi to Declan, running things at YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Get on the YouTube page. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Very much appreciate it. As it is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. As we get to our Elks report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No OT, whether your furnace conks out tonight, on the weekend, call Legacy. They'll come fix it. No extra charge. That's how you build a Legacy at legacyheating.ca. And the green and gold are looking to extend their legacy on this season. They've been in must-win situation here for the last few weeks. They got wins over Saskatchewan, wins over Winnipeg, and now they will head into BC to take on the BC Lions and win again and keep their playoff hopes alive. And we are joined by a guy who's been right in the middle of the Elks resurgence here down the stretch. Middle linebacker Joel DeBlanco joins us. Joel, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Hey, great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man. Appreciate you coming on. You know what? Can you talk about kind of the excitement? Like, I know it's not officially playoffs, but you guys have been in playoff mode here for the last few weeks, and obviously you had a lot of success doing it.
Yeah, no, I think it's just the mentality going into each game. It's live or die, and backs against the wall, and just excited to be. I mean, we're just grateful to continue to have an opportunity to keep on going and be in the hunt. And we always say to each other, what an opportunity we have to, dig out of this hole we made, and that's what we're doing. We continue to plan on doing it.
Joel, I was looking up a lot of the statistics. The BC Lions, they're near the top in a lot of offensive categories, and passing yards and average yards per completion, play from scrimmage, all those sorts of things. They don't have a ton of pass attempts, compared to their passing yards. They're really a big play offense. So how do you, as a defense, prepare for an offense that you might go 2 and out, and then boom, they hit you with big plays? Is that a different offense to have to scheme against than maybe some other ones that maybe can hold on to the ball a little bit more?
Well, I think it really goes off of Nathan Rourke. I mean, the guy's probably the best QB in the league right now and playing really high-level football. And his ability to be able to extend plays, I think, is probably one of the most underrated things about his game. He's got a great arm talent and all that, and he just runs the offense very efficiently. And so we gotta make that guy uncomfortable. That was our game plan going into Winnipeg, and that's our game plan this week as well. So we're gonna try to get him off his A game, and hopefully he'll throw us a couple.
Is he harder to tackle than people think?
Absolutely. It's actually kind of impressive when you are watching the film on him and all the tackles that he breaks, even like, straight up tackles in the backfield where he's looking down the field. He's just able to tuck the football or like keep the football away and then kind of get this stiff arm to get a guy off. It takes 2 or 3 guys to tackle this guy. And especially when he's scrambling and going for extra yards, he's not going to slide. He's going to fight for the extra yards. And so we got to go into it knowing that he's not going to, some QBs you got to pull up on, right? He's not going to be one of them. So we're going to take advantage of that.
Joel DeBlanco joins us. Joel, you got a guy like that on your own team in Justin Rankin, and he leads the CFL. He's got 12 carries of 20+ yards. Only one other guy even has more than 6, and that's Oliviera with 7. Like he is a big play guy. You go against him in practice. What is it about Rankin that impresses you most as a running back?
I think Rank, he's just like such a complete package. Like he's got that breakaway speed. He's got the balance and like able to make that jump cut or make a move and continue to keep his speed going. And a hard guy to bring down, never gives up on the play. I mean, you want to talk about another big play guy, you're absolutely right. Justin Rankin, he's one of the best football players in the CFL. And we're lucky to have him on our team. He's a baller, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, nothing gives the defense more life when, we're on the bench, making corrections, and then we just hear the crowd start roaring, and, we got Rank the Tank breaking another one. So it's a lot of fun to watch, and love his brand of football, and he's a weapon for us for sure.
You mentioned that feeling on the sidelines. I want to go back to the third quarter last weekend against the Bombers. It's early in the third quarter. It's 3rd and 2 from your own 46-yard line. Usually that's a punt play all the time, but the odds actually say teams who gamble 3rd and 2 actually complete it like 68% of the time, but teams only go for it 35%. So they should actually do it more. Your team does. Are you watching that play, and do you sense like not only does he get the first down, obviously he runs for the touchdown, and just how much emotion that gives to a team and really, probably could change the whole outcome of a game on one play?
No doubt. And, we've talked about it a lot in college, and my head coach would always say, listen, football is about finding a way to, get the momentum of the game, and then the teams that are the best at keeping that momentum. And I think that's something that we did really well in that third quarter, coming out that second half. I know in the past we struggled a little bit in third quarters, but we came out hot. The defense was playing well, a lot of 2-and-outs and getting the offense back the ball. And that makes it tough on the other team when, a lot of their game-changing players are on that offensive side of the ball. And, when they don't have the ball in their hands and our offense is extending drives on a 3rd and 2 and making plays like that, you get all the excitement and the energy and in our stadium, and the fans get going. We just got to allow that to snowball into more, right? And so, it was a lot of fun, and I think a changing, very defining moment in that game. And especially, also with that punt return for a touchdown and how crazy of a play that was, right? And everybody just maintaining their poise through it all. And, obviously Winnipeg had that crazy catch, but just each time we got off the field, we're like, get ready to go back out there. Get ready to go back out there. I think we stopped them in within the 3-minute mark, and maybe it was like 2:48, 2:30 around, and we're like, get ready to go again. And so we're not letting any moment relax. We're pretty dialed in with everybody on the sideline. So, yeah.
Joel, do you sense, is your team, just from play calling to execution, it looks like it's more aggressive than it was early in the season? Like, I know, your DBs are obviously playing more up than they were early in the first month of the season, and that might have to do with experience and a lot of different things. But do you sense it as a player that your team's play calling's more aggressive, which allows maybe the players to play more aggressive?
Yeah, no, I think JC has done a really good job of, there's been an evolution to us in this defense. And a lot of the time we're playing calls that are very simple. Like we run a lot of similar stuff. I think it's a lot of, I think JC's getting more confident to be more aggressive in some of those situations where maybe he wasn't sure or hesitated a little bit. Because he wasn't sure if we'd maybe execute it earlier in the year or something, but we're in a very comfortable place with our defense. And I think with us being comfortable with where we're at with the team and the defense, you see all the guys on that defensive side of the ball playing more confidently, faster. Sometimes it doesn't even have to be, scheming up some blitz or something like that, which we blitz a lot, but
yeah.
It's really doing our basic stuff, but doing it like playing it really fast and really confidently in it. And I think a lot of the time that's when you see like, oh, that like we're hunting right now. Yeah, we're hunting right now because we're not as worried. Like everyone knows what they're doing right now. We're trying to work and find ways to make it an advantage for us each and every play. So, but I would agree with you from that sense. Like JC's absolutely been, but I think there's a whole kind of overall thing that I think it's a testament to how well we've been doing on the defensive side of the ball as well.
Well, it sounds like, Joel, that guys are more comfortable. They got more experience. The play has, in a weird way, when the play slows down, you can speed up because you see what's coming quicker.
Absolutely. And all credit to the coaching staff for preparing us and giving us good game plans and us knowing what the offense is going to run and being dialed up for that. And, just as the season's gone, continuing to have those conversations with, different guys in different positions and to where we're all talking and we're all on one page of like, hey, it's this situation, be ready for this. We're all helping each other out. So that just helps us play even faster.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. Joel DeBlanco joins us. So, Joel, obviously you mentioned Rourke is a key part of that offense, and obviously you want to disrupt a quarterback all the time. You mentioned the fact you guys have blitzed more. Do you feel, because you've been blitzing, but also I found at times your defensive line has gotten infinitely more pressure in the last half of the season than they did early on, even sometimes just with a straight four-man front. And as a linebacker, how much does them getting more pressure change your job or make it easier?
Yeah, well, we looked at a stat. I don't know if it was halfway through the season or something like that, or maybe 3/4 of the way. And it was, we had the most pressures of anybody in the CFL, yet we had the least amount of sacks, right? So it's like, how do you bridge that gap from like getting a pressure on a QB, like disrupting him, versus actually making the play? And those guys can continue to work, and they work after practice. And in terms of just open lines of communication, we drop a lot of those guys into coverage, and they've taken huge steps, and we can do a lot with like our defensive line, and they've just been eating up front, and guys are playing free. And you look at when we played Winnipeg, there's not many times where Zach Collaros is able to step into a throw and really get all of it. He's always got a guy in his face, whether that's, him getting a hit on him, or he can't even, or even if he can't step into a throw, and all those things play into, coverage and us being able to get a pick or something like that. Like a lot of times you see an interception, you go back and our D lineman's causing problems for the guys up front. And so that's been a huge part of it. And those guys are playing fast and confident. And I think it just goes into everything that we've been doing, top down, playing faster and more physical.
Joel, great stuff, man. I appreciate the candor. Continued success, and enjoy Friday night. Should be a great game.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you having me on, and God bless you. And yeah, really excited to keep this thing rolling and to get out there on Friday.
Awesome. Joel DeBlanco, linebacker for the Elks. Great rundown on the mindset of their team and where they're going and what they're looking at. So Friday night definitely will be a huge test. But you know what? Like, obviously the odds are not great, because even if they win out, if Winnipeg or Calgary wins one of their games this weekend, then they can't get in. But they've played very well, and this BC team has played very well, and now we'll see that what they're going to do against the BC Lions on Friday night. Very high explosive offense, but the Lions defense isn't that good. To me, the Elks want to win this game. Yes, your defense has to limit them, but I think it's unrealistic to think you're just going to slow down the BC Lions. You need to score offensively to match with them at times. So let's see it if they can do it, because or the Lions offense is the best in a lot of the categories. The Elks offense needs to get going a little bit outside of ranking. They need to get more passing touchdowns, need more passing yards. And you know what? I love the change in aggression play calling. That 3rd and 2, that was a game-changing call by the Elks. I thought that was great from the OC to the head coach. They say, we got to go for it. And it worked. And, I hope they have that same just throw everything down, let's go on Friday night. And I think they should, because other teams, they played very well here down the stretch. And regardless if they get in or not, like this team looks like they're trending in the right direction. A lot of the pieces will be returning next year. We'll take a quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
The world's best curlers are returning to Nisku for the Grand Slam of Curling Go-Up Tour Challenge. Join us October 14th to 19th at the Silent Ice Center as top teams from around the globe battle it out for glory on the pebbled ice. Enjoy world-class curling and an unforgettable fan experience, all right here in our community. The Grand Slam of Curling Go-Up Tour Challenge, October 14th to 19th at the Silent Ice Center. Don't miss it.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
CFI what?
No, CFI, Custom Floors Inc.
From free estimate to professional installation, contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
The madness continues at the Brick. Get your home ready to host. Save up to $1,200 on made in Canada sofas and sectionals, up to 30% off coffee tables and nightstands, and up to 25% off bedroom and dining. Buy more, save more, up to $1,000 off appliances. Hockey season is here, and so are big savings on big screen TVs. Save up to $800, plus get free local delivery on screens over 50 inches. The Brick, saving you more.
Monopoly Double Play is back at McDonald's. So let's practice winning. You just won 25 grand and go.
Yes.
I said 25 grand.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Much better. Okay, now you just won a brand new Chevrolet Corvette. I think she just fainted. Impressive. Feel like a winner on pack and in-app. Monopoly Double Play is back. While supplies last, 1 in 5 chances to win game piece prizes at outset. Chances to win draw prizes depend on number of entries in each draw. Cash prizes payable by e-transfer. See rules in-app.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Strudley. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters, you can attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Fernando Pisani, Kelly Buckberger, Ron Lowe, Gene Principe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. There's still time to get in on every hockey fan's dream cruise. Book now and save $500 per couple. The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. Price started at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton. Call 1-833-347-7678. Call now to book and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours, 1-833-347-7678.
Prostate cancer affects 1 in 6 men in Alberta, and this November we're fighting back. Every dollar raised fuels early detection and life-saving support. Donate today for the men in our province. Visit keepitinalberta.ca to start your fundraiser or donate today.
Albertans celebrate a bounty of beautiful places to visit, boundless adventures to take, all in driving distance. And Sherwood Honda has the fuel-efficient vehicle that helps you go even further and appreciate more. Hybrid CRVs and Civics mean more thanks in your tanks, more great trips to be grateful for. And of course, Sherwood Honda is thankful for the chance to help you get there. It's a beautiful time of year, and it sure would be nice to hit the road with Sherwood Honda.
Hot coffee, hotter takes, and the sports stories that matter. Check out Kevin Carrions weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440. Be part of the conversation. 833-401-1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at Cantork.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk.
We got Tater, but we got to get
1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through. Let's quickly get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Here is the 2-minute warning with Tater.
Tonight's Edmonton Oil Kings encounter is not merely a hockey game. It is an exposition of geometry and destiny intertwined. There are more angles at play than in a conclave of Pythagoreans armed with brass protractors and imperial ambition. One could scarcely chart them all without a drafting table and divine patience. The narratives are so abundant, so layered, that reporters within the esteemed New York Times newsroom might labor past midnight, chasing down juicy leads. Hark! There are more angles than Versailles had mirrors, all reflecting, refracting, and, inevitably, returning to Edmonton, the crucible of character, the forge of youth, and the citadel of Major Junior Hockey's relentless theater. Everything, invariably, leads home. Tonight at 7, Rogers Place hosts a hockey tale steeped in irony. The Portland Winterhawks, born from the Oil Kings' 1976 move south, return to face their Edmonton successor. Now, just Wednesday, the CHL's top 10 rankings dropped, crowning the Oil Kings at number 5 in the country, just behind Everett, coached by ex-Kings bench boss Steve Hamilton, son of Al, a 1960s Oil Kings stalwart. Don't look, Grandma, they're streaking out there. Defenseman Blake Fiddler has points in back-to-back games. Forward Poole Anderson has goals in back-to-back games. Forward Max Curran has points in back-to-back games. Forward Joe Iginla has points in back-to-back games. Forward Lucas Sachin has points in back-to-back games. So, are you ready for Cam's call? Edmonton 5, Portland 1. 2-minute warning. Weekdays. Gregor, Halley, Tate. Sports 1440.
Oil Kings are good, man, and they'll look for another victory tonight. Tomorrow we got Oilers and the Islanders. Can the Jays get back in the ALCS? We'll discuss that and more. Have yourselves a lovely Wednesday evening. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca Quality Market. Your next dinner is ready at Loca Quality Market. For gourmet meals, you can choose from over 200 chef-prepared meals. 2 locations to serve you, Edmonton and Sherwood Park. Check it out online, loca.ca. Good night.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Big game for the Jays tonight in Seattle. Game 3 of the ALCS currently down 2-0. They'll send veteran Shane Bieber to the mound, while the Mariners will counter with George Kirby first pitch about 10 minutes away on the ice tonight. Sabres and Sens tied at 1 apiece after 20 minutes. Red Wings Panthers scoreless. Later this evening, Blues host the Hawks and the Flames taking on the Mammoth. The Oil Kings in action, hosting Portland. That gets going 7 o'clock down at Rogers Place. In the BCHL, the Saints in action in Chilliwack taking on the Capitals at 8. And earlier today in the AJ, it was Camrose shutting out Lloydminster 2-0. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Up next, it is Fox Sports Radio. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. here on Sports 1440 and streaming on YouTube, 7 a.m. with Kevin Carius. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440.